The Three RoOs podcast.
So on
Let's
this
do it.
episode, we're joined by Gorilla Dick, aka Michael, my cousin, Primo.
Okay.
We'll just keep it at this point.
It does say Gorilla Dick right there.
It does say Gorilla Dick, so
I don't know how to change it. I tried. I'm gonna be honest.
you'd have to probably like hang up and then dial back in.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not
So,
happening.
yeah. So, well, the joke's on any girl that believes that one. But today we'll be talking about things like gaming, AI, Metaverse, movies, and we'll just see where it goes. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, Mike, want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am. They're almost 35 now. I've been around for a little bit. I think I'm older than all three of you, right? At this point,
about like a year. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a starving artist, I guess you could say, and now I am no longer an artist, and I'm no longer starving. It's funny how that works. Um, but I still like the art world, and movies are a passion, I guess you could say. And I know a lot about a lot of the good movies, in my opinion. And I'm now watching a lot of older movies over again, as I'm now in my mid-30s, and I've gotten to liking a lot of the older movies that I didn't like, say, when I was a kid, more now, because I feel like I relate to a lot of the story now, because I feel like I'm right there at that age that a lot of the actors were when they were portraying these characters. So I don't know, they're hitting different, as the youth would say now.
What are you when you say older movies, are you talking about like black and whites? Or are you talking about like
movies that I guess came out when we were kids,
okay,
that were for adults of that time?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what movies? Do you have any examples?
Yeah, I was talking to Richard before this, and I mentioned I watched The Big Lebowski over again. And The Big Lebowski, like it was good when I was a kid. Like I liked it. It was funny, and but a lot of stuff went over my head at the time, and now I'm watching it again. It's just every single line is just like hitting me in the heart, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny how that just kind of happens, and you don't even realize it. You kind of age into movies.
Yeah. When I was there, you were talking about like this interesting theory about Donnie. Can you go a little bit into
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So, have all of you seen the movie, Seth?
What movie?
Tyler?
Which movie?
The Big Lebowski?
Oh yeah.
Seth, can you pay attention?
What movie? Honestly, Rich, I have no idea what you just said.
He's
He's
like
in
rubbing,
outer
rubbing your
space.
eye like you're
I
fucking asleep.
literally have no idea. You're just like, you had this idea about Dom. I was like, who? What? You say Donnie? Yes. I continue.
Yeah, so in the movie, there's the three characters. There's Donnie, there's Walter, and there's the dude, right? They're the trio throughout the whole movie. And if you watch the movie and you kind of keep this in mind, it kind of blows your mind. The dude never actually talks with Donnie through the entire movie. He never responds to Donnie. Other than one point in time in the movie. I don't know if you guys remember when the dude gets pissed off when they're standing in the bowling alley parking lot, and he walks away from his friends and starts to walk home, and his back is turned. And Donnie says something to him, and he just goes, "Yeah, sure, Donnie." Like disregards him and keeps walking, never actually turns around. And there's a theory that, Walter is a Vietnam vet. And there's a theory that Walter is making Donnie up. He's hallucinating Donnie throughout the entire movie, and that he is like a PTSD problem in his head. Maybe like a one of his fellow soldiers that died in Vietnam, if he was even really in Vietnam. But And maybe that one time when the dude interacted with Donnie and like disregarded him from behind in the parking lot, was the one time that like maybe Walter was like pretending to be Donnie out loud, and the dude is like best friends with this guy. Maybe he's used to entertaining Walter's delusions, and he just went, "Yeah, sure, sure, Donnie," and then just kept walking.
Huh. I'm gonna
That's a good
have to rewatch this.
I was gonna say, so I'm starting to think. I was like, you know what? I mean, I can't discredit that right now, but that's a good theory.
It's wild, man. It's wild.
Yeah.
There's like YouTube videos galore about it. And I even watched like an interview of like the cast, and the guy who was interviewing them like brought it up to them. And this is like years later, more present than past when this interview took place. So they're all old men. They've been away from this movie for years at this point. And they were kind of sitting back and they're like, you know what? That might be right. They're like, but I don't know if they intended it to be like that, but the theory kind of works.
Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, when
It's
we
cool.
watched it, it like blew my mind. So like I don't know if you so the dude is what played by Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
Then you got
Yeah, yeah.
Donnie was what Mike fuck, what's his name, dude?
No,
Steve
Donnie was Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi,
And then
the guy from
Walter,
Roseanne.
you said, yeah. Oh yeah, John Goodman.
John Goodman. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they're in the bowling alley and there's like all the shit going on, and Donnie keeps like saying stuff like here and there,
The
dude's
dude
like literally
never-
not paying no mind to it.
No
Like he
mind.
doesn't even turn his head.
Nope. Not once.
Yeah.
Not once.
So it really does seem like it's a valid theory. It blew my mind.
There was even one point, I think it's like right in the beginning of the movie, where Donnie like bowls a strike or something like that, and then turns around as he's walking back, goes, market that, dude. And the dude never picks up the pen, never marks it on the page, and he just continues like nobody said a word. It's really freaky if you watch the movie over again with that in mind.
You guys seem very underwhelmed.
He's
right now. I
also
think you just have to
no.
watch it.
Sorry,
They're
no,
thinking
I
about
was
it.
just
They're
looking-
thinking about it.
honestly, No, I just pulled up the IMDb on it just to see the cast list again. Forgot just how massive this cast list was.
Oh yeah.
But besides that, I'm looking at like stills in it, and it's always Daniels and Goodman, and then Buscemi's like behind them. Like he's not on level with them ever. This theory, it's a good theory. I like it.
Yeah. And then
Dude,
at the end
watch
of the
it.
movie, he dies.
Yep.
Right? And it's the moment Walter like stands up for his friends and does all that shit, right? And then they do spread his ashes. But that whole thing at the end is very weird. Another like dismissive moment between the two characters. And I mean, the ashes end up being inside of a coffee can.
It ends up too, if I remember right, and I could be wrong. It's been, I think the last time I watched it was at like 2 a.m. when the kid decided to be up at 2 a.m. It was like a random, like his death wasn't random, but like the scene with the spreading of the ashes just kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was like his will.
Yeah.
It was the only thing in his will, and it was just spread my ashes.
Yeah.
Or
And you're just
cremate
like,
me or something.
You're just like, wait, what? And then it happened. I'm like, Rich, it's not a underwhelming. It's more of like I'm kind of like
thought
I've never
provoking.
heard this theory, and I'm like, wow, it's
Yeah.
like I want to go watch this movie again now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
dude,
watch
what's
it
the
now. I didn't ever think about that, so now this is
Well,
gonna be
it's like the
interesting.
first, like the first.
I
10
have
minutes,
never,
too.
I have never. I mean, you're a big movie guy, Mike. So let me ask you,
Yeah.
if you can think of, so that's a pretty mind blowing theory. What are some other movies that like you either watched the movie before hearing a theory, or you heard a theory and then you watched the movie? What are some other ones where you're like, this makes sense? You got any other good ones?
That's tough. I
What
mean,
was the
there's a
one
lot
that
of
Jerry Maguire. Was that the one that you were like you you watched that recently and you were just like everything
Oh,
was
yeah.
hitting really hard?
yeah, dude. Jerry Maguire. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Have you? Or you said you haven't yet?
I've actually never seen that movie.
I don't think I have
Dude.
either.
It's not bad. It's not fantastic by any stretch.
It's not bad, but it's not fantastic, but the beginning of the movie more than anything, when he like, I mean, he's got a successful job. He's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, maybe more, millions. He's got this gorgeous fiance, about to be wife. Like he's got like the perfect life, right? And then he literally throws it away because all of a sudden he has a conscience. One night after he's like binge drink, and he like writes this memo, and he hands it to everybody he's ever worked with, everybody at the conference, and he literally gets fired that week because of what he wrote, trying to be a better person, a good person, because he's what do you call? He's an
a
agent.
sports agent, yeah.
He's a sports agent, and he literally makes money off of running these guys into the ground. And back in the 90s, they didn't care about safety, right? Like this guy was lying in a hospital bed with like 100 concussions, and it didn't matter. He was like, just get back on the field, get back on the field. And like all of a sudden it hit him. He got wasted one night, and like he had to change everything. And it was just I don't know, a cool moment that kind of hits you when you're in between careers and not really knowing where you're going to end up.
Interesting. Yeah. You're thinking about there's more to life than, chasing money and doing all that stuff. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of happened for me a little bit the opposite. Like I didn't have money, and I mean, I still don't, but like I was living paycheck to paycheck, barely making it by. And then now I'm a little bit more comfortable, and I can relax more, and I'm seeing it didn't matter.
Gotcha. Yeah, like, look at your fucking shine box.
Yeah, the extra money didn't make me feel any better, and if anything, I was probably happier without it.
Yeah, you said that recently, dude.
Yeah.
You were enjoying what you were doing more before.
Yeah. Well, I was still doing, my artwork. I was poor, starving artist living in my grandmother's basement, and I was miserable at the time. But now, like, I'm not there. It was still better because I was able to do what I wanted.
What kind of artwork was it again?
Special effects for film and TV, like practical special effects.
Oh, that's right.
Makeup, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember Rich showing me pictures at one point.
Yeah,
I was a model at one time.
I did him up one time. He was a big blue vampire.
Yeah.
That was still probably my favorite thing I've ever done.
Dude, that one alien that you made that one time, that cast was sick though too.
Yeah, it was like a Mass Effect.
Yeah, I think it was awesome.
Prothean looking creature.
Yeah. I think it was legit. I just remember the contacts when I was the vampire. Like the contacts were so uncomfortable.
They're called scleras. They're a normal contact just goes over the iris. This is entire eyeball, so like the entire front of your eyeball.
That sounds like so bad for Hollywood stars that have to go through that.
Well, that's why now they do most of that shit with computers. They CGI like the eye one color,
Oh, yeah. Right.
It really like hurt after a little bit.
So do you think things like CGI and where like production is now is like hurting that field, like the arts field? Because I mean, most of the stuff that you used to have to do in person now can be done by some graphics designer person or some engineer who knows how to click a few buttons on a computer, I feel like.
Yeah,
right?
and now at this point there's a lot of filters. I mean, there's plugins you plug into these softwares and it spits out something that you want. It's even easier, and every day it gets easier. But yeah, for sure. I mean, even back before I even went to school for it, CGI was kind of killing that industry. The practical side of it, like the old Star Wars alien costumes, like that kind of stuff. CGI just killed all that. And it was only until recently, and when I say recently, maybe I mean like the last 5 to 8 years, when this more recent trilogy of Star Wars movies came out. Even the Star Trek movies, arguably the newer ones, have better aliens in them than even the Star Wars movies now. They are just incredible when you do them in real life and they're standing in the room on camera with another actor. It looks different.
How long does something like that take to put make someone an alien? Days?
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about from the start of the process, depends on the team. Like if it's just me and I did a full makeup on uh Rizzy, right? Uh my it would take me like 8 hours, 10 hours just to do it by myself. That's why when you see like behind the scenes on movies, there's teams of artists on working on one person at once. And then like in the next chair, there's another team of artists doing the same thing on that guy, and then that guy, and then that guy. So it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and that's why CGI kind of took over because it's less money, less
Right.
people, it's less interaction, it's easier,
Less
but
time.
less time. But the end result is lacking, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You can fake lighting only to a certain degree, and again, it's getting better. It's harder to tell. But the best times CGI is killing it, and at the same time, practical special effects are killing it. Is when you mesh them together. I think it was one of the last Star Wars movies where if you look closely, like all the aliens that are walking around for the most part are real, close up on camera, and if they blink or they do any like wide expressions with their face, that's CG.
Hmm.
So it's when you have the real person in makeup there and the very minor things, blinking, facial expressions to a certain extent, moving the ears, that kind of stuff. If that can be CG, and when you meld them together, it looks great. It looks fantastic, and it's that kind of stuff that will stand the test of time. Movie cinema history, or I guess if you want to call it like that.
I just looked it up, like for the Grinch, Jim Carrey's makeup
Yeah,
took 2 hours to apply, 1 hour to remove, but he probably had
he
like
had about
like
5 people working on him at
yeah,
once.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Damn.
What was the one? The big one is the monster in Stranger Things, Vecna or whatever its name is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
latest one. That's all that none of that's CGI, right? That's all
Um,
straight.
it's a combination actually. The He's in like a multi-piece silicone suit, and then any of the moving tendrils and the very thick slime, that's all CG. And even like I don't know if you remember, there's one scene where he's like stretched out,
Yeah.
like in like kind of suspended in the attic or whatever it's called. Um, he's really hanging there, and then they CG like tendrils onto the existing costume, and it's great. The combination is just fantastic.
This is the newest season.
Yeah. Oh, have you not seen it?
I feel like I stopped at two. I don't know if I watched the third one.
Yeah,
What's the one where like the brother with the Camaro becomes like possessed? Is that the second season?
that is the second. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
so.
think I stopped there. Honestly, like the first season was phenomenal. But then after that, it just kind of I don't know. I just kind of
This
lost interest, I guess. I don't know.
this last season, it felt good just like the first season did.
Okay.
It really
The
did.
first season was awesome, dude. Like even the way they shot it, like the grain and all that, it just felt like an 80s movie. The music was great. The kids were young, they were adorable. Like, it felt like high stakes. It was great writing, but yeah,
Mhm.
I fell off. Like but now you're like interesting me. What are they on? Like season 4?
Four,
Five? Is it four?
five.
Oh, it's
Or
not
is
think
that
five?
I
long.
think five is the one that's because I think that's going to be the last one. But
Hmm.
it's
Okay.
they're taking a whole year off to get to it.
How do you
And
feel about that? Like, or
I
just like, yeah.
What,
mean
like
it,
me?
Huh?
like
What
go
do you
ahead.
mean?
Like for example, like if I look at like Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
we probably should touch on this a little bit on this one, but like Game of Thrones was what 8 seasons, 9 years. Westworld
Mhm.
took like a year and a half or like 2 years in between seasons. That's just like part of me loses a little bit of interest by that time. But then
Lose like momentum. They lose momentum.
momentum,
Take a long time.
but then dude, also like thinking about it, I dedicated 9 years of my life to Game of Thrones and it ended like that. Fucking pisses me off. And I literally I can't trust TV shows anymore. Like if I
I mean,
know
at
it's
the end
gonna
of the
go like
day,
that many seasons, like the Maiden's Tale.
at the
right?
end
Or
of the
Handmaid's
day,
Tale. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing 10 years of that show.
I think it's like more serious shows definitely need to cut their seasons down, like 5 seasons, 6 at max.
Yeah, wrap it up.
I
Wrap it
mean,
up.
comedies, whatever. Comedies can go 10 years, 12 years. Who cares? It's a comedy. You can watch them episodically.
Mm.
But I think the continuity thing, like I think it depends on the type of show. Like if it's a show that is a continuation story, then yeah, you probably should be pumping out episodes yearly. But if it's like a anthology type show like American Horror Story, whatever, take a couple years off, don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
each-
totally
yeah.
disconnected. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actors in that show were so good too.
What,
American
Game
Horror
of
Story.
Thrones?
No, American Horror Story. Like who's that older woman? What was her name in the she was like
Jessica something. She played the blonde chick in the original King Kong.
really? Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Like
Dude,
the
she's a great
original,
actress.
or
yeah.
Not the black and white. The black and white? No way.
no? There's no
No.
way.
Not the
no,
original
no,
original.
No. Hang
I
on.
watched that movie so much when I was a kid. by the
Hang
way.
on.
The original.
Give it a goog.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, let's Google this.
I want
What
to
is
get
her
this
name, dude?
right.
It's like Janice or no, maybe that was the name of the show.
Hold on.
She's a great actress. I mean, all of them honestly are great. The kid who played the crazy kid who was like dead or whatever.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that
Evan
was so good.
Peters.
Yep.
He's a really good actor.
Evan Peters is a fantastic actor.
Are you talking about
Jessica
Sarah-
Lange. Jessica Lange is the
Jessica
one who
Lange.
played the old lady. Sarah Paulson plays in a ton of them. She's also really good. Yeah, Jessica Lange was in the 1976 King Kong.
Jessica
Okay.
Lange. Oh, she is old as fuck.
Old as fuck, dude. She was so good like every season though, man. She plays that role really, really well. I don't know. I don't know what you
74.
call that.
She's old.
Yeah, that's like
It's not
5 years
young.
older than my dad.
It's not young.
6 years older than my mom. But
So Mike,
Yeah,
do you
anyway.
do you find it difficult to watch movies sometimes? Do you find that you're watching them more as like a technical, watching them for the costumes and the designs and the makeup versus like the story?
Well, no, I think it actually helps because a lot of times when a movie's bad, I can still fall back and just do that. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Because some of them still have, you know, the artist who made the mask for like that background character that I noticed in the movie, even though the movie's bad, I still got that out of it, you know. But I do recommend. I don't know. I'm not a Star Trek guy at all. I'm Star Wars all the way. But the newer Star Trek movies, the aliens throughout that movie, and specifically the second one, there's like something like 45 background characters that are background characters.
Wow.
And they're full-fledged handmade aliens developed just to sit in the background. Hours of makeup per actor just to sit in the background. And they're amazing. There's one, let me see if I can find it. Maybe I'll send it to you guys. But there's one where there's an alien. She is like her head where her hair is supposed to be. It's just a giant like snail shell or like a shell from the seashore. And it like melded into her skin, and it was like it's one of the best makeups I've ever seen. And it didn't win awards for special effects makeup because I can't remember. Suicide Squad won, and everybody was pissed off. And there was no reason why Suicide Squad should have won that year, and it like sent ripples through the makeup industry. Like nobody knew in like real life what's going on, but if like you were big into makeup and special effects, everybody was freaking out for like a whole year.
Damn. What I didn't hear anything about that. What movie, if it's not Star Wars or a Star Trek movie, do you think has done it the best, that you've liked the most? Or is it those two that do it the best?
Like makeup?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Special that's easy. Alien, the very first Alien movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite. And I don't even like horror movies, and technically that's a horror movie. But they did everything so well. The story, the makeup, the special effects, the spaceship, the filming, everything is just flawless in my opinion. And that movie was made, I think it was 1979.
Shit.
And if you watch it today, the special effects and everything hold up because they're all real.
I'll have to watch
Everything's real.
that.
Yeah.
I guess I never
you've
pay
seen
attention.
Alien?
No, I just never pay attention to like the costumes and the makeup, to be honest. Like
I was
kinda
gonna say, this goes back
goes
to what we
by
were
me
just
on the
talking
screen.
about. Yeah, watching a movie completely differently now.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
What are your top, if you had to do like a top 5? Alien
Like,
obviously is one of the top 5.
me. Yeah, Alien. I would say The Big Lebowski might be my number 2 at this point. It's so good too. It's just a very well made movie. Then I don't know. I have weird ones. I have weird favorites for certain reasons. Like I like the Underworld movies because I like
Love
the
them.
design of the creatures. It might not be the best story in the world or
It's a
the best
great
action
story.
movie.
It's a great story.
Yeah, sure. Like people can say that. But the makeup is practical in most of the movies. Towards the end, they sort of got taken in by the CGI craze, but the beginning, the first couple movies, they were all real, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. God, I don't know at that point. It's tough. I don't really have movies that I watch on a regular basis. I definitely separate. If I'm watching Alien one year, I'll wait another 2-3 years before I watch it again. But I love it. It's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What about you guys? I feel like I'm doing all the talking.
You're supposed to. You're the
Yeah.
guest.
I'm supposed to?
Yeah, Gorilla Dick, you're the guest.
What are your thoughts on, before we can list their 5 if I don't care. What are your thoughts on Avatar? Because that's
it's all CGI for the most part.
Right, and wasn't it one of the first big like all
3D,
CGI'd ones
that was 3D.
Yeah, it was the first. I guess it was the first movie that pulled it off to where the CGI characters were interacting almost flawlessly with the real people. That was interesting and a huge leap in technology. But they, like, what's his name? The director.
James
Cameron. Yeah. James Cameron. Yeah.
James Cameron. He like invented the technology for the movie.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of hard to compare that to anything else because nobody else is going to be able to do that. And then they also invented more technology for the second one because the second one takes place underwater.
Yeah.
So, and that wasn't possible in the first one. That's why you almost never see them interact with water in the first movie.
And
then they figured it out and they were like, oh my God, we got to do it in the whole movie now.
Didn't he spend a bunch of time like underwater, like learning how to do this stuff? If I remember right.
No, wasn't there a story where he like got in a submarine or something and went down? Is that what you're talking about?
There's one that I guarantee
South
is
Park.
a false story.
South Park made fun of it.
Yeah, South Park made fun of it. But there's like
if
you go into the Twitterverse, there's a legends that he like lived underwater for a week. Like he he lived in an apparatus underwater so he could learn how to make this stuff happen.
Sniffing his own farts, right? Or something like that.
Dude, did you hear the story about, I think Mike, you've heard of this, but Ari Shafir did like a salvia trip or like a ayahuasca trip. I forget which one it was, but he like was out for 10 minutes, and in those 10 minutes he lived another life underwater for 3 months.
Yeah,
he had a job, a wife, kids, a house, all underwater. And then
I think it was longer. I think it was longer than 3 months. Like he lived years
underwater. So yeah, it was like like 3
with like a fake family, and he got like snapped back.
Yeah, yeah. And then like they're like, well, it was on a Joe Rogan episode, and they're like, well, which one's the reality? Is it this the reality or is that the reality?
Right.
And Joe's like, ah.
It sounds like DMT.
It might have been like 10 minutes. Ayahuasca, right? Yeah.
I think it was, he went to like a special place and he sat around a campfire and he had like a guide. Right?
No,
is that the one he was talking about?
Dude, I think he was like on camera, like out in a chair or something like that.
Oh no! Are you talking about when he did Whippets?
No. This was, I gotta watch the Joe Rogan episode. Okay, it was. I'm getting a bunch of shit now. I'm getting both salvia, and ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. You have been
Ayahuasca,
calling it. You have been
I thought
calling
it
it
was
ayahuasca.
ayahuasca.
No, it's ayahuasca.
Maybe I'm thinking of Hiawatha.
Yeah, you are. You totally are. And you're like,
uh,
oh, you get high while doing it, so I guess they call it ayahuasca.
ayahuasca. Guys, what's ganja?
I was just thinking that.
So is one of those two? Are you looking it up or?
I'm trying
I'll
to
have
find
one
this.
weed, please.
Basically, everyone's like naming a drug.
Can I have one
Anyway,
crack
he was
crock?
out. He was out and lived another life. Yeah, Mike. Did I ever tell you about the ganja story?
No, you did not.
So it's like sophomore year. This kid lived in a single next to our quad, and
Dude
name
was living
like,
his
his
best
name was
life.
like Jason or something like that.
He
Yeah,
was
comes
living
in-
his
he
best
was the
life.
best life, dude. This kid just got high and played video games every day. Like had a girlfriend that would come over and
We could hear when the girlfriend was over. We could hear when the girlfriend was over.
And he like comes into our dorm and he's like,
Yeah.
we're like, saying hi and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah, you guys like 420 friendly. And like, he kept saying like ganja. But and by this time, like, I was just like completely innocent.
Was he a
And
narc?
no, yeah, right. Yeah, what are you, FBI? But
Who's asking?
he left, and after he left, I just go to them and go, guys, what's ganja? Like I didn't even like say the right word because I never heard that term before.
So innocent.
So innocent. But
Nice.
back to the movies. So because curious, because Seth, you mentioned I actually would love to get your top 5 and yours too.
Yeah, I want to hear. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm still on the mic. Sorry, give me one sec.
Seth, you go first.
I mean, a top 5 is so. I mean,
It could be
number
top
one
3.
is
It's like
number one is Clear Cut Goodfellas. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Ooh,
that is a good one.
That's a fucking great one.
I don't think there's never a time that I would not watch Goodfellas.
I did watch that movie over again recently too.
So
It's just so good. It's just so good.
Hit different again.
Let's see. I mean, I have different feelings of different types of movies. Like if it's guilty pleasure lifestyle, then the Fast and the Furious is up there. The Fast and the Furious by no means is the original
Guilty pleasure.
They are by no means cinematic genius movies, but they are. I mean, I've seen them all and I own all, but the one that's in theaters currently. So, I mean, they've got to be up there, right? They're just enjoyable movies.
I think the first one wasn't that over the top, like in the sense that it was like it wasn't like where they had that big vault or whatever behind the car, whatever that crazy.
That was in 4. They robbed the Mexican guy.
The first one.
That's actually 10 is 10 is based on that one.
They're on 10.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
No, 11. 11 just came out, didn't it?
I thought they were on
I think
7.
it's 10. I think it's 10.
Oh.
It depends on if you count the Hobbs and Shaw movie.
Dude, I love when the Rock fights Vin Diesel and they go through like 4 walls.
Dude, the ground.
Nothing will ever beat the scene where Vin Diesel, well, there's a ton of good scenes, but one of them, Vin Diesel literally like stomps on the concrete and it creates just a parking garage to fall. It's fantastic. I mean, The Rock misdirected a submarine missile with one arm and one. So
there you go. Or some of your other, it's just like rattles some off. Like it doesn't have to be. Don't fixate on like I keep saying 5, but
I don't know. I like to throw different movies based on different times. Step Brothers is like I need to turn my brain off for 24 hours. I'll watch Step Brothers.
That's up there.
You watched that recently?
Yeah, we did.
I mean, Talladega Nights, another fantastic movie. Actually, a really good movie I just watched recently for the first time in like 3 years, Wedding Crashers.
Oh, so good.
Wedding Crashers
is so underrated.
Yeah, no, I mean because he lost his fastball. I mean, he had some good movies and then he lost his fastball. Same with Owen Wilson, dude. Owen Wilson's lost his fastball too. Oh, you know what a fantastic movie is that I'm assuming you've all seen Old School. Old School is,
of course.
Yeah.
When that movie came out, we're talking
Blue.
Yeah.
This was back when you'd have like DirecTV satellite and you could buy the movie for 24 hours for like $3.99, and it would just play on a loop on the DirecTV. Like it wasn't like an on demand where you click it and it start. Like it would start at this time and you could watch it, and then it would start again at this time and you could watch it. And I bought it, and I think I watched it for 24 hours straight.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I love when he's doing like the
Love that
rings and he has like the cigarette hanging out of his mouth as he's like
Fantastic.
I was just thinking that, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
he's
love
in
that
the-
part. It's like
He's in the kitchen. I love when he's in the kitchen with his kid, and Will Ferrell's character swears. He's like, "Why you gotta do that, man? All you gotta do is say earmuffs. Watch earmuffs. You
Earmuffs.
say shit, fuck, balls." And then Will Ferrell's character's like, "Balls, ass." And he's like, "Well, don't abuse it, Frank. Damn."
Yeah, movies, all the Will Ferrell movies back in the day were.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm just like I think I'm more like again, obviously things like Goodfellas are gonna always rank up there all time, but I'm more of like a movie mood watcher. Like if I need to shut my mind off, I'm gonna watch a certain thing. If it's date night, I'm gonna watch a different type of thing. If it's
I'm kind of like that.
you know, sometimes I like to watch psychological thriller style movies. Speaking of which, there have not been very many good ones of those
No.
lately.
Do you remember going to see The Conjuring together in theaters and how fucking scary that was?
Oh my god, that movie was. Dude, do you remember going to watch Paranormal
Yeah,
Activity? the
Paranormal
original one?
Activity.
And then the
Yeah, then the
printer
printer?
then? Oh,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep in Justin's room.
You sprinted up the
Yeah.
stairs.
There was a
Like,
stairwell. Dude, that was. Oh my god! Wait, so that reminds. Side note. First of all, the printer scared the shit out of all of us. Do
But
you
it
remember
took-
when there was the fire
why?
drill?
Why? I never
Oh
saw
no,
that
I didn't
movie.
sleep in our room, and I slept in
Oh no,
Justin's
it
room.
wasn't.
That's what it was.
It wasn't a movie, dude. It was so we were sleeping at night. It was like 3 a.m. whatever time it was.
Okay.
But it must have been 3 a.m. because that's like the devil's hour, right? Or whatever they say in the movie.
No, was it like 3:23 or something?
I think it was 3:23.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was 3:23. Okay, so like that hour, and then all of a sudden the printer just
Gotta be
prints
him.
out. The printer in the room prints out just a blank piece of paper out of nowhere. The printer just prints out a piece of paper, spits out a piece of paper, and we all woke up. We all woke up and we're like scared shitless.
And I went downstairs and slept in our other friend's room.
Yeah.
Fuck
do you,
that.
Do you remember? Side note, because I'm thinking of that stairwell. I was dying laughing telling her about this recently. Do you remember there was a fire alarm and that kid, his name was Richard. He lived like whatever floor he lived on. We're all going down the stairwell.
come through.
Yeah, dude. This kid was like, coming through. He like, and he was, if his foot touched a step, it was for literally a split second. I've never seen somebody's, no professional athlete's feet move that quickly.
He was high stepping.
Dude, he was barreling down the stairs, but like not losing traction, just going, coming through for like 12 flights.
He wasn't
Athlete.
dying. He wasn't
He was
gonna
a-
die.
He was not
Athlete.
dying. He was-
Athlete.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I can barely make it up the stairs.
Yeah, dude. You and I both gotta work on that. But all right, so, Tyler, what are some of your top movies?
Transformers. All
No, it's not
Yeah.
on there. Those are
Oh,
amazing
man.
movies. 300 probably up there.
Oh,
That's a good
great
one.
movie.
Yeah,
Great
good
movie.
one.
That one I think I could watch at any point in the day. And any
Yeah.
day, anytime I could watch.
Yeah.
Growing up, Beverly Hills Ninja with Chris Farley.
No way.
Another great movie.
I fucking
That
love
was
that movie.
Such a bad one.
It was it's like so dumbly funny.
That's so funny, dude.
And
Uh,
for some reason, the like drop dead gorgeous 10 out of 10 girl is just some madly attracted to him.
That's
somehow.
Chris Farley movies, man. That's
Yeah.
Chris Farley movies.
Nicolette Sheridan when she was young.
Is that who that was?
Yeah, that she played the girl in that movie. Yeah, dude, when she was young.
I just remember that one dude was just swinging in like a palm tree back and forth. Like that was his plan to get launched out of a palm tree into a car or something. I was just like, what the
Wasn't
fuck?
Liu Kang in that movie?
Yes, yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And then Chris Tucker.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, Chris
he's
Tucker's
good. He's good
hilarious.
in any movie.
Yeah.
Fifth Element. That's one of my top
Ooh.
5
Fifth
That's very
Element.
good.
Why isn't it ringing a bell?
because
Bruce
you've
Willis.
never watched it. Didn't you
Yeah,
say you
well.
never watched it?
What?
I might have at some point in time. Like I was gonna say on this podcast. Yeah, I've never watched this with Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It's arguably one of his best movies, if not his best.
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
That's one of my top 5s easily.
Hmm.
Okay, that's 2, Tyler.
I think I'd put. I mean, I've been watching all the Star Wars movies over and over at this point, but I think I'd,
Okay.
what were you gonna say?
I was saying, how do you feel about the first trilogy versus, or I should say, how do you feel about episodes like 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3? Do you like hate because people hate on the first trilogy?
First meaning
With-
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, with
No,
hating
fuck,
Christian shit.
the
and-
1, 2, 3. Yeah. I always mess that up.
I don't like 2 or 3. One
Oh,
was
really?
good. Yeah, one was good,
Okay.
but like
3 wasn't bad. The end
Like-
of 3 obviously got better.
but just where like 2 or 3 where you're just like, all right,
2 was
you
god
know
awful.
Anakin's gonna be bad. Like they're just playing this shit out. Like I don't know.
2 was
Yeah.
god awful.
Wrap it up.
I don't
Dude,
know.
two,
But I think
actually, if you watch 2 again now, it's not that bad.
No, 2 is terrible.
oh yeah, I
2 is
watched it like a week
absolutely
ago.
terrible. Yeah, dude, 2 is one of the worst movies
I wouldn't say
of all
terrible.
time.
Just like those are probably my 2 least favorite movies in all of the Star Wars movies.
Well, hang on. When you say
Even the
all,
recent ones?
yeah, you don't
Yeah.
mean like.
No, I do.
Oh shit! Do you think 7, 8, and 9 are better than 2 and 3?
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
How so?
I'll go now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hang the phone call up on him.
But
No,
I think Rogue One's my favorite now.
Rogue One is
was
Rogue
so
One
good.
is so good. It is so good.
So
Yeah.
good. You know, I was watching. Did you watch Andor?
Andor was-
Controversial.
Andor was good, but it was about 4 episodes too long. I'm gonna say it. I
So
think
I'm not done with it yet.
Well, they had a
like-
whole nother plot thing after the first
which
half.
drove me nuts. I was like, okay, why did I just watch this and then watch it again? Make it 2 seasons.
Yeah, they drew it out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Good,
it's kind of
good show. I mean, good show. Don't get me wrong. I think it's now call me crazy. I'm a Mandalorian guy. I love the Mandalorian.
I don't know, dude.
I didn't watch the second season.
He just gets his ass kicked every episode and somehow finds his way out of it. I could tell you what's going to
I
happen.
mean, he
in every
does. I
episode.
mean, he does. Yeah.
Well,
but
now it's not really about him anymore.
yeah, it's true.
Fuck
It looks like
Grogu or
Mike
whatever.
Gorilla Dick. Are you all caught up on it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tyler, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the next season's gonna go back to more of him doing bounty hunting shit.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like he's now just living his best life with Grogu.
I hope so because that's why everybody liked it in the first
This
place.
season, yeah, this most recent season was it was a little bit out there, and then they did that one episode that didn't actually even have him in it, and I was like, why am I watching this? Longest episode of the season.
They did that with Boba Fett, but they did it with him.
Yeah,
Right.
So it was okay.
I like Boba Fett. I wish that they like the guy who he was like the sheriff he's like an ex-Mandalorian. He was a sheriff. He was the sheriff actually in Seth and Deadwood. I think you've seen Deadwood, right?
I know
Yeah,
who you're talking about.
Timothy Oliphant.
I wish
Yeah.
I wish they kept him around a little bit longer because he was a pretty badass character. And then some like blue alien kills him in like one draw.
I don't think he's dead, is he?
I don't think he is.
He got shot by the alien guy.
Yeah, but I don't think he died.
Oh, I thought he
I
did.
could be wrong.
Unless he can't. Unless was there a second season of Boba Fett?
No.
No.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
he's
he-
dead then.
Then maybe he is. Maybe I'm misremembering. I
Pretty
don't
sure
know.
he's dead. But Deadwood was.
Oh, no, he's
You
dead.
talk about a show that like I feel like could have been so much more. Was wait, what'd you say?
I said, oh no, he's dead.
Oh, Deadwood could have been more. I think that was a show that was just so drawn out.
I
Never
never
saw
saw
it.
that show.
Yeah, me either.
Don't bother. Even the movie was like I was kind of excited for because I love westerns.
I know, yeah.
Love westerns.
Very reminiscent though. Same one could be said for
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone's terrible at this point. I don't even.
Yeah, they got,
I
I didn't
didn't
watch
even
last
watch.
season.
I didn't even watch last season.
I'm
It's
watching
gotten
it
so
still.
stupid.
I'm
I
watching
loved it,
it.
but it was just
It's like the Sons of
Yeah.
Anarchy, just like crazy shit happening.
oh,
God,
dude, Sons of
Sons-
Anarchy, I could not finish that show.
isn't realistic at all.
Sons of
Every-
Anarchy got so ridiculous.
But they were so good. I
Every
still watch
season,
them.
dude.
I mean, I
I'm
watched
gonna
every
quit the
episode of
club.
Sons.
Dude, I
Um,
couldn't do it. Every season, I got to like season 4 or 5. Every season, it's
That's what I'm
gonna
telling you,
quit the
dude.
club, and then he's like, "I'll
Shows that
never
are-
quit the club. These
That's
are
what
my
I'm telling you.
brothers."
Dramas that are 5, 6 seasons, and that's it. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
They wrap it up nicely.
Some of the best shows were like a mini series, dude. Like a Band of Brothers, incredible, one season.
Well, that's because
The
it
Pacific.
wasn't a series. It wasn't a series. It was a mini series.
Well, yeah, my point is like you can like write a story, even if you do like 15 episodes, 20 episodes, crank them out, be done with it. You don't have to go
yeah,
like so
but
far.
like
Game
there
of
are
Thrones.
certain things.
But if it's making you money, they're gonna put more.
Well, that's
episodes.
what it
Yeah,
comes down to.
I
right?
mean, and
So-
there are certain things. Plus, I mean, then you got to dive into like we're gonna see again what we saw happen in 2007 when the writers' strike came through the first time, and a bunch of shows that were about to be good are never gonna come back, and a bunch of shows that were good end up having god awful seasons, and then just fizzle out.
I
Lost is a prime example of
that
that.
show made no sense. I can't believe I even tried watching that with you
Because
guys.
the writer's strike killed it. Lost had 3 fantastic seasons, and then season 4 was writer's strike season. It just threw everything on its head, and then it died 2 seasons later.
Yeah,
All I
wasn't
think
it?
about
I think it was around that time when they redid Knight Rider.
Yep.
on like ABC, and it came out, and a Mustang was supposed to be Kit, and it was the shittiest show I've ever fucking seen in my entire life.
No, I didn't watch that.
Don't.
Well,
Actually, no. You know what? Do watch it.
I can't even. Again, I don't really trust. I just don't spend a lot of time. The one show that I crushed recently was Dragon Ball Z. Andor, obviously, I'm crushing that. But
Oh wait, back to that. You guys were talking about your favorite Star Wars movie.
yeah,
You're all gonna freak out. My favorite is Solo.
I knew you
Oh,
would say
really? I just watched
Yeah.
that the other day too.
that. That's
I-
a good one.
Love that movie.
It was a good one.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
shit on that, but it's a good. Dude, Rogue One actually might be my favorite. If Rogue One's not my favorite, I would probably say Phantom Menace might be my favorite. Like Jar Jar Binks, absolutely terrible character. Here's the thing though. When I think about Episode 1, the reason I love it, I
Do
think
you remember
it's
that
like
part of your life?
nostalgia thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same,
Like I think
same.
about going to the theater with my grandpa.
Yep.
And then like that summer, like pretending I was a Jedi with some kid from Florida at this like thing behind like this like camp, right? We had like wiffle ball bats as lightsabers, and like it was just like that's when I kind of got into Star Wars. Like I remember my uncle would come up for Thanksgiving and we would watch the old movies. They'd always be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked Star Wars, but I never was like that into Star Wars. Then Episode 1 came out and I started getting all the toys and the action figures. Remember, Mike, I had those like fucking banks. You would like attach the Darth Maul bank, the Obi-Wan, and the Qui-Gon. You could attach them, and when you would put a coin in, they'd start like fighting each other.
Yeah,
Do
it
you
was
remember?
sick.
Yeah, I had that, but Rogue One's amazing, especially when first off the battle on whatever the name that planet is. What the fuck's
At the end?
Andor?
Scarif.
Oh.
But then like when Darth Vader's in that hallway, and
Yeah.
like that was one of the coolest scenes in all of like movie history.
Everybody always talks
Yeah.
about that scene, and they've
It's
never
so
even come
good.
close to doing that again.
It's so good. I remember being in theater seeing this, and everyone was just like, "Wow!" Like it was
Actually,
awesome.
you know, they actually did come close to that scene in Star Wars Fallen Order, like the Star Wars game.
the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They spoiler alert. I don't know if you guys are gonna play
I
it,
want to.
but
I actually thought I was gonna buy it, so
the 1st one.
I'm serious. Yeah. But go ahead, ruin it.
Well,
ahead.
okay, I'll ruin it. There's a part where Vader appears literally out of the smoke,
Okay. So it
like
was
at the
that.
end of the movie, and it's just like that scene in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And it
that was awesome.
like it's almost the whole game. The whole game, you don't even get a sniff of him, and you're at the end, and boom, he comes out of the fucking smoke with his lightsaber, and like you're shitting your pants.
Yeah. Dude, I've watched that scene, by the way, from Rogue One, like on YouTube. I Googled that and I watched it on YouTube like so many times. It's so good. But I think you touched on gaming. I guess before we shift, I'll just kind of rattle off some. Godfather, Part 1, Part 2, I would say are easily some of the best movies of all time. Count of Monte Cristo with Jim Caviezel, phenomenal movie. Casablanca, the old black and white.
You have such a cultured list.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. I know,
Fucking
right?
asshole.
And Black Hawk Down.
That
I
was a good
watched
movie.
that a million. That's such dude.
Saving Private Ryan.
I was gonna say
That's also-
Saving Private Ryan's got to be
Private
up
Ryan's-
there.
It's one of my tops, but I think I prefer I prefer Black Hawk Down. I would love a Star Wars movie that was like a Black Hawk Down, where it was just nonstop action with blasters. Like
Oh, that
again,
would be
Rogue
cool.
One, where they're fighting in the streets. Imagine
That's-
if it was an hour long of that shit. It would be
That's
amazing.
that's why I like Solo. There's no
Yeah, there's a lot
Jedi.
of fighting there.
There's no
Yeah,
Jedi in
true.
that entire movie. It's a cowboy movie in space.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. That's why I love
it's
that.
awesome. Step Brothers would obviously be one. Anchorman would be
Superbad.
another one.
Superbad was one.
Superbad. No, dude.
Superbad.
Actually, I watched
Dude,
Superbad recently,
Superbad is
and it
fantastic.
didn't hold up when I watched it recently. It didn't hold up.
That's what
You're
that's
telling
what I
me,
said.
but you're telling me you can't like go to nostalgia lifestyle, be like you had a night somewhere in your life where
Well,
that's what
yeah.
you did to try and get alcohol. Like that's why Superbad is such a good movie, because it's hitting that nail on the head of everybody has had this night where you are trying to get that girl or impress that girl, and you are trying to get alcohol when you're not 21 yet. Like I think it misses the point because we're all in our mid-30s now. So like I can't speak for you guys. Maybe you do. I haven't gotten carded in God knows how fucking long. I don't even get carded at the places they want you to scan your ID anymore.
Oh, I get
Yeah.
carded all the time.
Yeah, I got
fuck
carded
you.
recently.
Yeah, fuck both of you. But like it's that nostalgia factor of like we've all been there, like going to 6 different places, finding the place where the right person's working so you can not get carded.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
The
never
homeless
had
guy
that
outside of Stop and
experience.
Get
Yeah, I
shot.
never did that. I'm not a degenerate.
Yeah, what the
I
fuck?
was definitely a degenerate.
You obeyed the law.
Dude, we used to go to the Native American store growing up, and if you had any type of facial hair, you were 18, and if you had a full beard, you were 21. I wish that was a joke.
What tribe
swear
did
to
you
God.
guys have up there?
I swear to God, it was in. I don't fucking know, dude. I was busy getting dippers. That's all I wanted. I used to have the. I used
What
to
is
have
that?
the
I don't even know what that is.
Like
The
chew,
dip?
right?
chill. Yeah, like dip.
Yeah.
Oh, dippers.
Some
Got it.
skull, some peach skull. Or where were you, like a wintergreen guy? You seem like a wintergreen kind
Winter-
of
Wintergreen
wintergreen.
Kodiak, bro. Kodiak
yeah.
wintergreen, man. That's where
I
it was at.
never tried it because everybody used to tell me like, "Oh, it's gonna make you throw up," and I'm like,
Dude, it makes you sick.
Not,
I
not
did.
gonna do it.
It made
It
me feel
did,
like shit about
and
3
then
times.
and then you like figured out how to pack one, and you were fine.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I tried
I'll
it
never
once,
forget.
puked my brains out, not coming back to it.
It does give you like a head high.
I mean,
or
it's
buzz. You're
it's like it's the equivalent of if you took like half a pack of cigarettes and rolled them up and lit them all at the same time and smoked them all at
Yeah,
once.
that doesn't sound fun to me.
It's not, dude. It's kind of fun, but I feel like it did make me sick. But
It's kind
it did make me sick every time I did it, and I didn't swallow the juice or anything like that. It just got me too buzzed. I don't know what, and nauseous.
I
Like
mean,
when
it
we
was
went
a
to
head
see Luke
rush.
Bryan, I was like in the tent for like 2 hours. Like I think I'm gonna throw up.
It was a head rush. I used to do it all the
Yeah,
time.
head rush.
And then I decided that I didn't want mouth cancer.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
So
Good choice.
Well, let's shift to gaming. So I guess Mike. Obviously, you and I mean, without sounding too sappy here, some of my best memories are just you and I like playing video games like
Well.
together for a whole few days.
Tyler, you want to just leave? Like,
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, why don't you guys just leave? Which we did recently, by the way. So Diablo 4 dropped. I flew home. What, you picked me up like Wednesday night at midnight.
Yeah, we kissed a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah. And then
Drove me back to my place. Put you
yeah,
in
drove
bed.
back to my place. Yeah, offer me water in a red Solo cup. But then then like from
wasn't water.
from Thursday.
Rest of the night was fuzzy. Got it. Continue.
From Thursday to what, like Sunday morning, we just played Diablo 4 straight, and it was.
Holy shit!
And we
was
watched
great.
both Anchorman. We had Anchorman on in the background. 1, 2,
Step
Great
Brothers.
Lebowski, Step Brothers. What else do we have? We had I don't know, some other shit. Vince Vaughn was in the Anchorman movies, but
Please
just had
tell
some
me that
shit
you
on in the
guys
background.
each consumed like a case of cookies and
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we went to
chips.
Walgreens. And we
4
had a fucking
pizzas.
shopping cart full.
I
We
think
had pizza.
we
Everything.
spent like $75 of just drinks and snacks, and it's all gone by Sunday
like
morning.
OG gaming. All
Mountain
Yeah.
Dew.
Yeah,
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 like
yeah.
red-
No,
code red.
that's the funniest part, dude. It was like
We got
it
some
was like
seltzers.
wine. Yeah, it was like
Ooh.
seltzer. It was like flavored seltzer, which I just drink a ton of it. But like, so we were really well hydrated. But my gut health was probably shit because it was just like cookies,
Pizza,
Pringles,
Pizza, junk food.
Yeah,
That was great.
Sounds
Got
like a
like-
blast.
got like 2 weeks worth of cholesterol in just a matter of 2 days.
I think I
But,
gained 10 pounds.
Yeah, but anyway, so like that's obviously been like our thing. You've remained much more of a gamer than I have, but
Yeah.
what are some of like, I guess we can go anywhere with this, right? What are some of your top games? What are some of the trends? Let's start with this actually. What are some of the trends you see in the industry? And like, what do you think overall of like where it's at?
That's a easy and tough question at the same time.
Yeah.
Without to sound like too much of a, I don't know, an asshole. I think the industry's fucked.
I agree.
The video game industry.
agree.
It's being too manipulated and controlled by the publisher, and the developers are squandering, and they're being forced to push out games that aren't done. And that's been going on for over a decade now at this point, and I don't think it's going to get any better. Money is where these companies are going to head, and they're going to keep pushing out products that aren't ready, unfortunately, and we're going to be paying to buy games that aren't done, and we're literally paying to test these games for these companies, and they might never fix them. So that's kind of the state of the industry.
Wild.
I kind of like I miss like coming home from school and like having like I'd be like, yo mom, I need you to do me a solid today. And she would go and she would get me this game, and I'd come home and I'd just like Halo 2, and I play Halo 2 when I got home. Or remember like midnight releases, all
Halo,
that stuff gone.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a midnight
I worked
release.
at GameStop, I think right at the end of when the midnight releases were like slowing down.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Call of Duty was the only midnight release that had like half of people like actually show up. And then every other game that came out that had midnight releases, they were like 5 people would show up for the game, and then we would close the door 5 minutes after midnight because everybody was gone already.
Yeah, they used to be like huge ordeals, and like you used to be able to go home and play it. Now it's like you get the game and you got to download an 80 gig
Yeah.
update. Dude, I remember when I was, I think I was living at home still. But like, or maybe I was, yeah, I forget what it was. But oh, my mom was sick and I moved back home for like a little bit. And the internet that they had was like DSL. So it was like 2 megabytes a second or something like that, 3 megabytes a second. So like Halo 5 came out.
Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure my parents still have DSL.
Do they really? I think mine do too, actually. Yeah. And dude, I remember it was like a huge update. It was like 70 gigs or whatever, like to play it. I couldn't play the
2
game
weeks.
for 3 days, dude, because it kept timing out, and I had to like start over. It was just, I was like, all right, when I get home from work, like, you know, in the city, and I like train back, and by the time I get home, I'm gonna be able to play. Nope, like 3 days went by before I could play this game. But so it sucks that, like, to your point, they're shipping all these unfinished games. They're like, oh, we'll just, you know, the shareholders are happy, we met our deadline, that's out the door, but then we'll just have a big patch. We sound like these like jobless, like, you know, rich liberal college kids, like liberal arts kids, like complaining about capitalism and all that. But it's true when it comes to like gaming, it's not finished products anymore.
Are there less people playing, or
no? There's more playing now.
There's definitely more people playing. It's just I think it was PUBG. PUBG came out with like the alpha test or whatever, right? Isn't that what started it all? It was
I don't know, actually.
Like
I don't know.
Early access. I think it was PUBG was the first game to come out with early access, and it blew up because it was just such a different game at the time. Everybody started playing it, and then all these game companies were like, wait a second, they released a game and it wasn't done, and it was this popular. We're gonna do it. And then every game did it from there on out. That's why on day one you get a game and there's like to your point, there's 100 gig patches.
Do you think that it's like this, like a multitude of things between like need to have these games out, need to have the next one,
Yeah.
on top of like people are gonna play a bit of a game and then get bored and go away, or go to the next game that comes out, and then they see, oh shit, there's a patch, gotta do this new DLC for this game and go back to it type deal? Is that what they're anticipating? Or
no, not at all. And I'll give you like, the video game industry is so like, it's so easy to know how to do it right, because there are game companies that do it right, and they're very few and far between, and then there are game companies that do it wrong. And it's so easy to tell a difference. Rockstar Games, they make one game, really. It's GTA, right? When's the last GTA come out? Back on the PS3.
Holy shit!
No, PS4 had PS4 was GTA.
No, dude. GTA 5 came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360 first.
Oh, really?
It was right at the end of the console generation, and we're
that's right.
we're still playing it.
Yeah,
it's 2023, dude.
Yeah.
Was it like 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
Yeah, it spanned 3 console generations.
Holy shit.
Okay, they've been working on GTA 6 since 5 came out. They are their own publisher, and they develop their own games. And when they release a game, it's done.
Yeah, right. Phenomenal games too.
And because the games are done. Because the games are done. Like, yeah, there might be glitches because the world is so big, but they end up fixing it. They don't release the game until it's in a state at which they can sell it. Yeah. And cross that. Compare that to Cyberpunk. I don't know if you guys played that game, but Cyberpunk 2077 got released probably a year too early, and it was a broken mess. And all the developers said it needed more time, but the publisher and the investors forced them to release the game. And when the game came out, it was so bad they had to remove it from the Sony store because nobody could play it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
It was the first game ever to get removed from the store. Like
it was such a cool premise too.
yeah, but they just needed more time. They just
Yeah.
needed more time. That's it. And again, it's because of the investors, the publishers. It's become a churn. It's like they're just get the game out, get the game out. We'll patch it later. We'll
Right.
patch it later. And that's not the mindset you're supposed to have in a industry that's really, when you think about it, it's art.
So what
It's
other games aren't doing that now? You said like a game or GTA. Are there any games that
you honestly you don't really know until the game comes out.
mm,
And it's very few and far between. I would
Mm.
say I would
There's
say
certain publishers that do it well a lot. Like Nintendo, I'll give Nintendo credit. Like when they put something out, it's typically
yeah,
very
but that again, Nintendo is their own publisher.
yeah,
They make their own games. That's why
Yeah.
Zelda games come out and they're flawless. That's why Mario games come out and they're flawless.
yeah.
They publish and they make their own games.
I think Bethesda too is a publisher and they make their own games, even though I would argue
Not
that
anymore. Not
who's
anymore.
what do you mean?
Xbox owns them now.
Oh, I did not know about that acquisition.
Yeah, they've
Really?
owned them for a while now.
Oh, I
That
did
game,
not even know.
that game's Starfield. I don't know if you guys have seen
Oh
that
yeah,
game.
yeah.
That's Bethesda.
Yeah.
It's Xbox now. Xbox only. I
Oh.
don't know if that's even going to be on PlayStation at all.
Dude, they used to be so good, man. They used to be phenomenal. And then
Mhm.
like Skyrim, I thought was not that good. I think it was overrated. But you talk about a game that so Skyrim, same thing. Out in the 360, people are still playing it
Yeah,
12, 15 years later, however long it's been.
yeah. I mean, regardless of what your opinion on that game is, for the most part, it was pretty well made. Very few glitches in the grand
Fair,
scheme of things.
fair.
Very few.
Yeah.
And they've redone that game, HD remastered it over the course of 3 generations, and they're still pumping out Game of the Year editions for that game, and
Yeah.
there's mod support. It's one of the biggest games on Steam still to this day.
It was a flawless game, I guess, from an execution, like
But
not
that's what
wasn't
I'm
buggy and
talking
all
about.
that. Yeah.
Like
You're right about
that is like almost not heard of anymore. Every game that comes out is broken, and like the running joke is nowadays expect the apology letter from the company 10 days before the game comes out. Because it's that bad. They came out with a Lord of the Rings Gollum game recently.
I heard that was terrible.
It was so bad they came out with an apology letter saying it was fucking bad, and then they apologized to it, and they said we needed more time and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
So it's the same old song and dance at this point, and I don't know how it's ever going to get fixed, unless like the video game industry gets unionized, which it never will. they'll fire people before they'll do that, and there's somebody else willing to take that person's spot, so it's never going to get unionized.
Yeah, companies like EA kind of ruin the whole. I mean, like EA, I feel like EA was like, besides Nintendo, like they obviously knew, okay, this could be like a real business and all that, but like EA, dude, EA just destroyed so many things, and they went on this acquisition spree, and then there used to be so many good publishers out there. If you think about and developers, Midway Games, phenomenal, Rare, phenomenal.
Midway's still around. They're just called NetherRealm now.
Yeah, but they only focus. Well, so NetherRealm. Yeah, but here's the thing though. Midway Games got like divested, and then whatever they kept, that sliver they kept became NetherRealm, which just does Mortal
But
Kombat.
it's still the original guy who created Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. But it used to be like so much more broad before that divestiture, and it was just that was a great publisher, Rare, which Microsoft owns. So it was like all these big companies came in, they bought up anytime Activision and Blizzard merged, which was like a terrible, terrible thing. Which
Yeah,
is there like an
went down in
acquisition
history.
going on right now where they're trying to fight it? Somebody's trying to
Microsoft is trying to buy
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard.
Oh, damn.
And
which I will say,
I don't know exactly what's stopping it, but it's almost getting to the point where it's a monopoly, and I think that's what's
I think that's
putting
why
it-
they're trying to fight it. Yeah,
I think that's why they're trying to fight it.
I think in Europe was like driving that fight there, but
Yeah,
if you had all these small studios and anytime they were successful, they got gobbled up, and then it just became about deadlines and quarterly figures and all this kind of stuff. And
yeah,
like I get
Yeah.
it, it's a
Yeah.
business, and
Yeah.
in business you go in to make money, but it just kind of killed a lot of creativity. And I think too, like you shit on me all the time for playing like old games or loving old games. But it's like, number one, there's a reason why remasters are so popular, right?
Mhm.
Like people want to play like good quality games that just look better, perform. Like you can't run some of these games on your computer anymore. Or obviously like a game that was on Xbox, right? You want to play it on the newest generation or something like that. So you love a remaster. But like there's something to be said about back then, like a lot of things were being created that did not, it was brand new. Now you're seeing a lot of like rinse and repeat or like tweaked
Yeah, that's another thing
type of
because it's
stories.
safe. Because
Yeah,
it's
it's safe.
safe.
Quality of life changes too. I think in some ways take away from a game. Like if you look at like Morrowind was phenomenal in so many ways, except combat was broken and stuff like that. Like it was all
Mhm.
dice rolling.
Mhm.
Then you get to like Oblivion and Skyrim and like having like a block button, having fast travel, having little things like that. World of Warcraft vanilla versus like retail, all these quality of life changes. Yeah, it makes some things more convenient, but there's also something to be said about like that grind that
Yeah.
made WoW like classic what it is and why people went back to it and made Morrowind still to this day. I think it's one of my top 3 games easily.
Yeah, but don't you think that they're trying to, I mean, if you're thinking about it from a business standpoint, like you talk about like fast travel and things like that, isn't that
Yeah,
going to draw in your more casual player?
well,
Like you
100%.
feel like your more casual player is not going to want to spend 25 minutes traversing parts of the map to get
Yeah,
to their next objective, right? They want to be
agreed.
able to bang, 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 go do your objectives.
Well,
So
That and
that's why phone games are becoming so popular. They're not necessarily dumbing down, but yeah, they're dumbing down games that are from like PC or console, and they're dumbing it down so it can work on a phone control wise.
Mm,
And because it's exactly to your point, they want to reach the masses.
yeah,
Everybody has a phone and they're trying to get their game in people's hands and get them addicted and get them to buy microtransactions, and it's becoming more of a business and not an art form anymore.
yeah, loot
is it
boxes.
is that what like Roblox is doing, and that's why it's so successful? Like,
I
I
don't
mean,
know about Roblox.
I feel like a lot of kids like the
My
or
niece plays that.
yeah, friends' kids are always on that and always playing on it.
Hmm.
I got her some
I don't
Robux
know much
for
about it.
Christmas. It's like there's, I guess she was doing all sorts of stuff when she was playing and she was showing me it. Like there was like a dog that you had to like, she
It's kind
was
of
the
like
dog. And
Minecraft, right? A little bit.
yeah, it looks like Minecraft, but then like you would pay in order to get like this outfit for this character or like do little things like, like maybe you have like a little dog that follows you around. You got to pay like, 10 real dollars to get 100 Robux, whatever it is.
Yeah,
And so it's
so
in-game currency that you're
it's
buying.
like Fortnite
microtransactions.
style,
Correct. Yeah. And
where like
all
Fortnite
games are
was
doing it
free to
these
play.
days.
Yeah,
Diablo 4
I feel like
has it.
that's the new norm where
Yeah.
certain games, certain games will always make you pay, but other games are like, here it is for free. But oh yeah, to do anything other than run around naked, give us real person money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
That's
it's
like,
it's called
yeah.
it's called games as a service. That's
Hmm.
like the
Yeah.
PC term. That's you buy or you get a game for free up front, and then they're sprinkled in throughout the game something called microtransactions. Tiny little, you know, $2 here, $5 here,
Yeah.
and then before you know it, you're just racked up $150 on your mom or dad's credit card, and now you have like a fully kitted out character in this game, and you won. You beat the game. It's over. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's and the so-called free game was really $150.
It's like
Gotcha.
Destiny, dude. I like tried to download that and I wanted to go to this area and it's like, yep, can't do that. You got to buy this
The
this
expansion.
expansion and
Yeah, Destiny's notorious for that.
yeah, it sucks. That
And
sucks.
and,
Well,
and
what's
it's a way of the company itself stretching out the content of the game and just literally milking it for everything it's worth. Like back in the day, we used to type in cheat codes. Those
yeah.
yeah,
cheat codes are
yeah,
gone. If you want that like cool head, like the big head mode on your character, it's $5 in the shop.
Yeah.
Like it's all money now.
That's even in
Everything.
I was gonna say that's even in like sports games now. If you think about it, like you used to be like up, down, square, block. Oh, got these cool outfits for my football
Yeah.
team, and
Yeah.
now it's like, all right, give me $5 and here it is. So would you say that's better or worse than like membership games?
Oh,
what
wait,
is
it doesn't matter if it's membership. World of Warcraft is $15 a month. Okay. They started with that. You buy the game and then you pay a subscription fee to keep the game running, right? That was the first games as a service type, I guess, model. Now they've gone even further in the current like video game industry world. They have battle passes on top of the box price of the game, on top of this $15 subscription per month. There's battle passes. There's mounts in the store that you can buy, which are not cheap. Like they start at $25 for a mount in the game.
Horse armor.
Sounds
Yeah, but you
profitable
could-
for the
That's always a
company.
But you
joke,
could look,
horse armor.
you could look so cool traversing up to Ironforge. Come on.
Right. And now they're talking about they implemented in the new expansion. It literally just happened. There's something called, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a rotating quest shop, right? In the game. Richard, you probably have not seen this yet. It's very recent. And it gives you quests that are all like, it could be in the new expansion, it could be all the way back in the first expansion or all the way back in vanilla, and it gives you quests or objectives to go around and visit old portions of the game.
Mm.
And it's cool. It gets people who might not have been around for that point in time, because WoW's been around for 20-25 years, right?
Since 2003.
Yes, 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years, right? So there's people that haven't played back in those times, but now they can go back and do quests and get brought back there and get modern rewards. Like they give you new cosmetics and new mounts and stuff like that for going back and doing that old content. They implemented that a few months ago to raving reviews. Everybody loved it. Now they're now that they know everybody loves it, they're now somebody data mined, and they found within the files of the game the currency you get for completing these quests and turning them in to get these new rewards will soon be monetized for real money in the store.
Yeah, of course.
And they're going to gate you away from this brand new quest experience that everybody loves, and they're going to make you have to pay for it on top of the box price, on top of the subscription, on top of all the other shit, just to get you in the door. Just to get
WoW
you in the
is
door.
such a cult. WoW is literally like,
Well, they're
and
killing
I'm not
it.
saying
They're killing it.
I'm not even saying that as like a throwaway. Like literally, it is the definition of a cult. You're paying money to hang out with people. Like it's ridiculous, and yet people do it. People continue to do it.
Yeah,
We
and
love it.
They're
Though.
killing it. They're killing it even more. And they added the WoW token, which is a modern day WoW thing, into a classic expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. So now the WoW token just blew up all over Wrath of the Lich King, and the market is not what it's supposed to be. Like now there's people buying gold and buying up items in the auction house. It's just like it ruins the game. It ruins the game.
It does, especially because Lich King was quite possibly the greatest expansion that game has ever seen.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm looking at the subscription numbers. So the height of it was 2010. There was 12 million players, but the first
for Wrath of the Lich King.
Pretty sure that was Lich King.
Yeah,
that's when it came out.
Yeah, and then immediately as soon as Cataclysm came out, tanked.
Well, that's when I stopped playing was Cataclysm. That game was trash.
Yeah, it was more fun for lower levels though.
So what are the numbers now, Rich?
Right now in 2000,
they stopped reporting them.
Well, yeah, I only see 2022. It's 4.6 million.
Yep.
So I mean that was to scale, right? We're saying 4.6 million. Let's just round up to 5.
I bet you if you
5 million.
subtract 3 million from that, that's what the numbers are now.
Like daily active.
Yep.Maybe even
Could be.
less.
Yeah.
Maybe even less.
Yeah, but
Burning
think about it.
Crusade
So, do you think they actually care about daily active though, versus people who they're just collecting $15 a month?
No, you don't care about that.
4.6 million users. I just did the math. It's $69 million a month. A month.
I mean, there's no server. There's no stress on the server. There's less stress on the servers.
And then you get all the other shit that you got to buy, and
exactly.
Maybe all that money's more than having 12 million subscribers.
And then pop out a new expansion. Maybe 2 million people come back to buy it, and then it's ridiculous.
$40 box price just for the
Dude, the writing has been bad since Cataclysm. Cataclysm was trash.
Cataclysm was stupid too, yeah, but the writing general games suck. The writing is so bad.
I think you can tell me why the writing on Cataclysm was so bad. Was it Cataclysm when the Wogons came out?
I think it might have been right.
And you
Because
were
it was when the war
I
was
can't
Cataclysm-
going.
remember.
yeah, because the next one
Oh
was
yeah,
Mr.
because the
Pantaria.
wall got destroyed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And all I remember
Yeah.
is Rich was furious because, oh, we are the wall again. We fucked
No,
the
that was
other
John.
ones."
That was
Yeah,
John.
I know.
John was like, so he was this kid who was first of all, this kid was your suite mate freshman year.
It was
He
ridiculous.
was like he was top 100. I think he was like, wait, was
He
he
was
number
top.
one?
He was top 50 because you could play. This was when you could play Guitar Hero online, like
Yeah, he was top
on the
50 in the
internet,
world.
and he was
The kid
top
was
50 in the world in Guitar
incredible to
Hero.
watch.
The man he was probably 6'2", 6'3", easily 275 pounds. Easily.
Yeah.
Man was a
Yeah.
behemoth.
Hulking
And
muscle.
he was the
But
type
fingers.
of man. He was the type of man who would take his shirt off and you'd be like, dude, why are you wearing a sweater? Like that he
was a bear man. He would
was a
play
very
Screamo. It was Tuesday because
oh my
Tuesday
God.
night was the raids. He would
Tuesday
play
night was raid
Screamo.
night.
He played Screamo.
Oh my
He would
God.
dip and he would have a thing of cookies
Oh my
until
God.
like 2 a.m. He would run raids, but he was top 50. He loved World of Warcraft. He was a hilarious kid. He was also weird. Like remember Tyler was like, I haven't seen you in a while. Boners, what's up, man? He's just a weird guy.
He just was super socially awkward.
He was
But
super
he,
Dude,
awkward.
I gotta say that from now on. That's great.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, yeah, I want to play a rogue. He's like, no, you can't play a rogue. I'm like, why not? He's like, because you're not
bad.
good. You got to be good to play a rogue. You need to play this. Like he was just like a kind of rude,
He was
but it was funny.
he was very much the like, I'm really good at this and you're not, so I'm gonna tell you why you're not good at it.
He was like the guy from South Park. That episode, like the guy just sits there, just like crushing everybody. That was him, dude. But yeah, that he was. So when the Worgen came out, he was like really pissed off about how they were alliance. He would like genuinely complain about it. And he'd be like, "Oh, we are the Worgen. We fight for you alliance. This makes no sense." Like he would just get so mad.
God, I would love to hear what he has to say about it now, with all
I
the
gotta
other
wonder if he still
characters they
plays, dude.
added.
He thought he had the best name.
Galby.
He was funny kid. Well, I guess to shift gears a little bit. So like gaming VR now is coming out, or it's been out VR. Let's kind of skip the whole I wear Meta goggles on my face thing because we kind of know where VR is right now. Let's kind of fast forward to the Metaverse. Okay. In 10 years or 50, like, do you think we're gonna get to a point where you are like plugged into some neural shit? It's like the Matrix.
I hope so.
That'd be fucking legit.
Honestly, I do.
If you don't die, if you die in the game, you still get to live in like.
Yeah, but I hope that it reaches that point for the pure aspect of immersion.
Yeah,
I think it's limited currently with technology.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, and I mean like the little things. I don't even mean the big things. Like you're playing a first person shooter, right? That's not really first person. The camera is in the body.
Yeah,
it's
like
in the chest of the character.
Yeah.
You're not actually looking out of their eyes, and you don't realize like how much is kind of like tricking you on screen to make you think you're looking at it out of their eyes. And I whenever I play first person shooters, for example,
somebody who's built like this.
Yeah. But
No,
I mean, like whenever you're running in a first person shooter game, I feel like I'm moving in mud. Like I feel like I'm too slow.
Okay.
I don't feel like a real person moves that slow. And they try to trick your brain when you're playing by like adding swooshes in the wind. Oh man, I'm moving so fast I can see like a leaf fly by me, when really your character is just like, two-stepping real slow. I don't know. But it doesn't translate over until you're actually looking out of your own eyes.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying?
FPSs would be by far.
Oh, it'll be insane. I'll play FPSs again. When I'm looking at my own eyes, I'll play an
so
FPS.
Cool. Like gamer,
right?
Do you think people get like PTSD though from that? Like
yeah,
prolonged exposure. I guess unless if it wasn't gory, then maybe not. But if it was like actually gory.
Oh, I thought you meant like somebody with PTSD getting like triggered by doing it.
Oh, they 100% would get triggered.
For sure they would. For sure they would.
My one buddy, right, who had served. We play a lot of Battlefield 3, and then he like couldn't play it anymore. And he was like, I just can't, because when you're getting shot at and you hear the bullets and you hear guys yelling like, I'm pinned down.
You
Like,
hear the mortars going off in the background.
Yeah, it just kind of like set him off like a little bit. He got really anxious. And
I believe it. I believe
respect. Yeah, but I mean, people like a 12-year-old kid that's just every day he's like strapping in, and he's like going to war.
Well,
you don't have the same fear of death, like real life death.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
but I was gonna say at that point, that's not really the game's fault. That's
like
why is he on all day every day?
In, though, yeah, true. But if you're like plugged in and you like it feels real,
I still feel like if you know that you can't die, like in the end,
it's different.
And if you know you're not actually killing a human being,
that too.
I think that's more the aspect, like whatever. I think the PTSD side of things comes from you. Yeah, you're not going to die. You know that you're not killing actual human beings, so I think you're going to be fine.
They're animals, Seth. They're not people.
Unless it's like gamer. Unless it's like gamer, and then you're controlling a body, like someone's body or something. Like that'd be weird.
That would be even more immoral.
I mean, I guess so. The question is though, like, how immersive are we talking here? Like, if I get shot, do I get like hit with something? Like, is there?
Yeah, you got to be able to feel it. Yeah,
you got
to be able to feel it.
I think what's gonna happen is like Ready Player One. You guys seen that movie?
Yeah. No, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that.
Well, you're plugged in. You're in like VR goggles, whatever. I don't really remember exactly, but the way they kind of portray it is you're not you. You're not in your body in the verse. You're in like an avatar's body. But you are looking out of that avatar's eyes, and you are moving that avatar's hands and stuff. So the disconnect will be there. Like you're not you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm thinking about like basically the Matrix. Like you're you. It feels like you. The world you feel
that's
the ground
different.
Your feet. And like I want to get to that point.
That could be the same thing. Like if I know you don't want to talk about like the metaverse, but like the way like they're kind of developing it now is that there's different verses within like whatever you want to call it. So there could be a world, like a verse that you can plug into, and it's really you. It really looks like you. Maybe you're able to scan your body in and do shit like that. But then there will probably be other verses where you're fucking Knuckles or Sonic walking around in the online chat lobby, but you're looking out of Knuckles' eyes and you can see your fist with the spikes on it.
Yeah.
It all depends on you're plugging into like a company server,
Right.
So you can actually only be you if you pay for it in real person dollars.
Yeah, a dollar.
It's gonna come down to money in the end, anyways.
Come on now.
They're gonna monetize everything, man.
Everything.
Again, this could be just me playing devil's advocate. This could be because I'm currently reading a book on the psychology of serial killers. But like, wouldn't there be a worry that if you start living in this metaverse and you're like, look at me, I'm killing people and it's all good, and that line between metaverse and universe blurs, and then you go out and kill people and you're like, I don't feel anything because I did it in a game, and now you're a mass murderer.
Tyler and I had this conversation.
Well, hold on. That is the exact same conversation that has been going on since the invention of video games and first-person shooters. It's the same conversation. It means
like it makes kids violent.
Yeah, they've been saying that.
Do you think it would happen? Like, I feel like it's just going to be expedited because it's so much more real.
I don't think so, because dude, it's just like going from standard definition TV to HD TV. Some people can see the difference, some people can't. There's always going to be people who think like, oh my God, Minecraft looks so real. And then fast forward to 10 years from, it's fucking blocks. It's polygons.
Xbox.
There were people jerking off to fucking, what's it called? Tomb Raider, back when she had triangles for tits.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that. Yeah,
it's the same argument, man.
On that PlayStation.
It's the same argument. And they were like, oh my God, it looks so real.
Game. Yeah. And then when Angelina Jolie played Tomb Raider, everyone was like going fucking ape shit over that. Yeah. Because it was the embodiment of the Tomb Raider.
It's hard to even imagine a day where it is real. It plugged in. And I don't think we are even ready or equipped to have that argument.
I think we will
Neuralink.
get there. I think
Neuralink.
I think we're
Yeah,
gonna get there in
sure.
like 10 to 15 years. I think we'll get to a point where it feels incredibly real. And what we just touched on was a conversation Tyler and I had. Seth, you had mentioned something. So I guess Tyler, your argument was if you were a potential serial killer or whatever, right? Like you could take your urges out in the metaverse so that you don't exercise that in real life. My
Westworld.
thing was oh god, okay, the premise of Westworld I love, but I'm gonna not sidetrack myself here.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
Stay
Land that
focused.
plane.
So here, let's for this exercise, okay. Let's for all intents and purposes here, the metaverse is essentially the Matrix. You feel, you're living it, okay. I do think we will get to that point. I think we're going to get to the point where we're going to have something like some sort of chip or whatever. Like Elon Musk is working on that right now.
Mhm.
The Neuralink.
The Neuralink, right? We'll get to it at some point.
They're finally doing human testing now. They just got FDA approved.
Damn.
Yeah, I did some human testing 2 years ago and I got vaccinated. But so I'm just fucking with Seth because he doesn't love Elon.
The vaccine?
But,
Idiot!
Keep moving.
Maybe
Land the
maybe I
plane.
already have a
Land
chip
the
in here.
plane. Land
So
the
anyway,
plane.
so for this thing, it's just like that. It feels real. You feel everything. It's everything you think you are there. Okay. Do you think the metaverse is going to be a good thing for society if we get to that point, or do you think it's going to be like? What are your views? Good, bad, mix? Like, what do you think on that? It's real.
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking Seth because you kept
No.
saying
I was saying because he doesn't like Elon Musk, but you again, it's real. It feels real. Okay. You plug in, you can go live a second life. You're a cowboy, you are whatever.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, it'll be good. I think it will.
Like for society?
Yeah. I mean, there's always gonna be a benefit to technology. It's just, is the negative gonna outweigh the positive? I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think the negative outweighs the positive, or the positive outweighs the negative for social media? Like what that's done to our society, right? I think the metaverse is going to do, or Neuralinks, whatever it is, Neuralink plus metaverse. We'll just call it metaverse to keep it simple. I think that's going to be the next like big societal.
I think, yeah, you kind of with the whole social media thing, right? That was a first. Social media is nothing's ever been like that. And I think the governments have finally kind of like pinned that down, and they know how to like manipulate it and control it. And I think for whatever comes next, they're ready for it. And I think the metaverse is what's probably going to be the next big thing. And I think we might be fucked.
Yeah, dude, okay.
Because they're ready to go. They're ready to be in control of every single aspect of it when it does come out.
Retargeting on steroids is going to be like,
it'll be the phone listening to you 24/7, targeting ads, but like times 1,000.
There's a reason why Meta was putting so much fucking money into metaverse research.
Right.
There's a reason.
It might look stupid right now, but when it finally does come out and it finally hits and it gets going, we're fucked. We're fucked.
We're fucked, dude. I think the same thing. Like I think so Tyler and I kind of talked about this, like I said. So there's going to be some good applications, right? So you can have
there always will be.
Yeah, like would-be doctors can perform surgeries and stuff like that multiple times, right? There's going to be.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good.
Well, it's not a real body. So if you nick an artery, they could still, it's like, okay, start hit the reset button. Yeah, you get a lot of practice and all that. It feels real. If there's a doctor who's like squeamish about blood, I mean, whatever. There's military training. Okay, I guess that's that. Well, yeah, it's a good thing. You could sleep in your bed safer at night and more soundly when you know your military's like been through the shit or whatever. Alleged, they kind of get that. Business meetings, feel face to face.
To that argument, all of that good stuff, I don't think it matters if we're completely under the thumb of somebody controlling everything. Agreed.
And yes, probably another conversation about that. But I think when it comes to the metaverse, I think it's going to bring out the worst things in people, right? So for example, right, you're living a real life. You live in middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, right? Or Idaho. Now you get to live in New York City. Like you come home from work, you plug in, you go live in your apartment in New York City, and you got this like digital girlfriend. You're married. You're like, hey, sweetie, I'm just gonna go plug in for like 2 hours. You're basically just banging the shit out of this one like digital chick for 2 hours. There's gonna be
Hey,
adulterers. There's gonna be, I know, right? It's like, yeah, but
I mean, doesn't all that? But
that's
Rich,
one of the
doesn't
good things.
Rich, doesn't all that happen now? Doesn't all that happen now? Don't people live
Well,
their separate lives on social
they
media
do.
now?
Yeah,
I think
they
it's gonna be people's
do, but
release.
it's
Like
gonna be
so,
people's release, and so
yeah.
I think it's gonna be more of it though. Seth,
I mean,
I
that
think
doesn't
it's,
make it right, Tyler.
but
I
no, it
mean,
doesn't
dude,
make it right.
Just because it's you're only virtually banging someone doesn't mean it
But
like,
think about the
makes it
access,
right.
dude. You're going to have, there's kids with phones in their pockets now that are accessing porn at 13, 14 years old. There's going to be a 14-year-old kid
Are we gonna have people
banging
like
some
protecting
chick like
digital things lives in the future too? Like, oh no,
bird.
you can't harm that digital bird. You know, like
Well,
where are
who
we
owns the
going with
server
this?
though? Who owns the server? What are the rules? Is
So
there
what is
like
so let me
private
ask you this,
servers that
Rich.
are paid?
What is the point of it? What is the like what would the mission statement of this virtual reality be? Like why do we need to go live this second life?
Well,
because this one
that's good. I don't think.
sucks.
Well, I mean, why do I need? Yeah, right. Why do I
Well
need to?
put.
Why do I need to play any game that I play now? Right. It's just like it's a release, and so
Right, but you're not talking about playing a game. You're talking about like living a second life.
well,
It's
that's the
one
thing
thing
though.
when you go
Well,
play Call of Duty for 2 hours at a night, but it's a whole nother thing when you come home from work and literally just put on goggles or plug in or whatever, and
yeah.
you're just gone. Just go live that life. I don't understand.
Well,
Well, I would
it's
do it. I'm not saying I would.
it's gonna be.
You would go home and bang a chick for 4 hours.
don't-
No, I'm
I
not.
don't-
I wouldn't say I'd do that.
Got it.
Got
Been
him
there,
on
done
camera.
that.
Boom.
Been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
I would. Go ahead, Mike.
No, let me hold on. You gotta understand. It's not you jumping into a world that you're used to. It's you jumping into a world of endless possibilities, and it's not like your kindergarten teacher telling you can be whatever you want when you grow up. It's literally you're jumping into a world and you can be whatever you want. It's I mean, you guys should know you played video games. It's that times on steroids. It's that times 1,000. Except you're in control of everything.
It's a drug. It's going to be
this
like
is going to
a drug.
be terrible for America's youth. This is going to be
exactly.
absolutely
it's gonna be
terrible.
Terrible, dude.
We're gonna end up like
dude,
Wally.
Not just
We're
youth,
gonna end
though.
up
Not
like
just,
Wally.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
The
telling
people
you.
floating around.
Yeah.
Not just youth, though. It's going to be bad for adults too, because again, it depends on whose server. If it's paid, like there's going to be people that have their own servers. It's like this is the world where you're living the life of an aristocrat. Another one's going to be Westworld, and so you're going to go there and you're going to be a fucking gunslinger. Then there's going to be the Japan Westworld, and you're going to be a feudal samurai.
But what I'm saying, Rich, the reason I say youth over adults is we at least have a fully developed brain, so we already have distinguished these things in life and know what is and isn't possible. Someone whose brain is
Allegedly.
not nearly fully developed, forget about it. You start plugging in and they're like, I did this in my video game. Now I'm going to go try and do it in real life. Next thing you know, they're over at, Susie's house trying to cut out her liver because they did it in the virtual reality world.
Exactly.
But again, you can literally make that argument right now.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not saying that's different. I'm saying that it's going to be that much faster because it's going to seem that much more high tech.
I don't think so. I don't think so because
but back then you used a control, right? You're clicking button Q to pull out the liver, or you're touching the X button. Now you're using your hands to physically do it. So you're like, I did it in the video game. I can do it in real life, right?
Yeah.
That's the big difference. It's different from a controller where you're not physically holding the gun or physically holding the knife to in a game where you are going like this in the real time because you've done it, you're feeling it.
But what's going to spark people all of a sudden wanting to kill people? Like
the dopamine release is.
I mean, dude,
eventually your threshold is just you're going to need more and more dopamine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a drug, dude. It's a drug, dude.
And so killing people is going to be the dopamine release.
Well, because in real life,
if that's the games you're playing.
Yeah, because eventually you're going to get to. It's going to be like a drug, dude. You're going to be plugged in all the time. You're going to live so many different kinds of lives.
So take killing away from it, right? Let's go back to the sex doll, right?
Boring.
You go and you just get to see this woman at a bar and you're like, let's go have sex, and it happens. And then the next time you do it, it's not as fun because it was easy last time. So now you want it to be a little harder. So you go work on a more difficult woman. Next thing you know, you think you can get any woman till you go to a real bar.
It sounds like Real Women.
Right. So then you go to a real bar.
No, I'm not even joking.
And you get to, no,
I'm not even joking.
But
you fuck the same girl for however long, it gets fucking boring. They could be the hottest thing in the world.
This is the thing, though. You're going to have people who might not be able to distinguish between, okay, in a game it was so easy, why is it not so easy in real life? And then getting mad in real life.
Why aren't they doing it right now?
But exactly. And in my opinion, fuck those people. I don't care. Why should progress be stifled by the few?
Oh, I'm not look, I'm not saying that. Look, I'm all about moving forward, but these are the negatives that you even said there's going to be negatives, and do they outweigh the positives?
Absolutely.
And
but
here are those negatives, is people are going to blur that line.
I do agree, but I don't think we should worry about them. Like I mean,
I think you have to put it in the back of your mind. I don't think you can develop things and be like, it's fine, everybody's gonna be safe.
If we were to go back 15, 20, when did social media?
No, but
I mean, people have gotten people to kill themselves because of social media.
My like, argument let's be real, there's nothing we can do that will ever stop that from happening. It will.
You mean like the metaverse is coming either way?
It is the inevitable. There will always be people that will take things too far. It doesn't matter what it is.
No, and I agree.
We have a fire pit. We have a fire pit here outside in my apartment complex.
Yeah, you threw a baby into it the other day.
And yeah, dude, somebody's gonna take it too far. Somebody's gonna throw toys and fucking melt a baby.
Which is fine, but like you.
Melted them.
Yeah, but how does now playing this game or being in the metaverse trigger the thing that makes them want to kill people?
I think it creates. I think
you're going to create. I think you're going to create. Yeah.
But again, this is the same argument. Like, you guys right now are our parents talking about the GTA 1 when you're looking up over the car, drive down the street and run over a dude on the sidewalk. They thought the same thing.
But again, what I'm saying, the big difference is I pushed the X button to do that. I didn't physically feel like I'm in a car driving over a human being. So I know that it didn't actually happen.
It's the same thing in your head. It's the same thing in your head, and it's the same argument because the parents thought it looked real. We are going to think.
Yeah, but our parents were wrong. We're not. Duh.
We're not just talking about looks.
They said
the
same thing.
We're not
about their parents. It's cyclical. We're
talking about feeling it though, right? So for example, when you're in the metaverse and you stab a guy and you feel the warmth of his blood spray. I sound like a fucking lunatic saying this.
You didn't think the first time you put a Wii controller in your hand and you did Wii bowling, you didn't think, oh my God, I'm bowling right now.
I did think that if I twisted my wrist a certain way, I might be. I thought that maybe
I lined the ball up a little differently. No, what I'm saying here is that. And I don't disagree with you that it hasn't been around in the past and it's not going to continue to be around. What I'm saying is that these are things that, and they weren't thought about back then, and they should have been, and they still should be now. Like, you can't just be like, it's going to happen whether I worry about it or not. That's a horrible way to think about things. That's an absolutely terrible way.
No, if we could rely on social media now, I would.
I would absolutely rewind it.
I'm not saying we don't have to worry about it, but what I'm saying is, no matter how much preparation you do and worrying you do about it, and anything you put in place to solve whatever you think is going to happen, it doesn't matter. Somebody will think of something you didn't, and they will fucking do something crazy.
So then the question becomes, what's the response when it does happen? Because social media has done a terrible job responding when bad things happen because of it.
Of course.
So what's the response?
You can't, because then some guy's gonna have his own server. It's like, you're not supposed to have a gun in this state, right? But then you go across state lines, or you buy a black market, right? There's gonna be guys with private servers that you could log on to, right? Like, it's like, I guess they're gonna say, hey, we have to make it where you can't kill other people in the metaverse now. Like, the government will probably say that, because I do think
we're protecting digital people.
No, I think what's really going to happen.
But I think there's a threshold, though.
Let's be realistic. Here's your government constraint. They're going to put a disclaimer at the front of it. That's going to be their
that's all. Yeah, you're probably
in the beginning.
If there's a lot of money in it, dude, they're not going to fuck with it. Like, if they know that, for example, it's like, you know what, 75% of the people in this fake city, this metaverse city, are mass murderers and adulterers and like drug runners and all. Like, it's a fucked up town. Like, we need Batman in this place. Like, if you're paying a lot of money and the government's making a lot of money off of it, do you honestly think they're gonna give a shit, dude? They still allow you to buy fucking cigarettes.
But dude, I think you guys are not looking at this as wide of an eye as you should be looking at it.
Oh, no, look,
you're looking at it as like a black and white, like, you're gonna have a house here and somebody's gonna have a house next to you in the metaverse. That's not how it's gonna be.
No, dude, it will be, dude.
No, it won't.
I mean, it's
They
going to be another version of
100%
social
will
media.
have-
It's
It's
100% going to
gonna
be another
be-
form of social media.
It's going to be
what it's
much
gonna
more overall abstract.
I
You
don't
get
think
what I'm
so.
saying? It'll be more. It'll
To
be more
start.
like,
I agree to start it will be, but you don't think someone's going to capitalize and be like, you know what? I could probably
Dude,
make
they're-
some
they're-
money if you want to talk to this person over here or this person over
Yeah,
here, and then
it's like
you
there's
can
different video
share
games.
stuff with them, and you can share stuff to them. It's
Yeah.
going to become social media. It
Dude,
just
Mike,
is.
it's like how there's different video games where it's like, okay, if you want to do this and you want to be like fucking Aquaman and half whatever, like the Snorks, right? You could go live your underwater life here. But if you want to live like a second life that you like, okay, I'm 50 years old. When I was in my 20s, I didn't get to do this. I never got to live in the big city. There's going to be like big city meta server. And like, it's
Sure.
going to be like that. Like you can have a job or whatever you do. You'll have an apartment that maybe you design yourself or whatever. So you get to have your dream home and you get to have your dream partner and you get to have your dream dog. And people are going to take it so far to where, first off, dude, it's going to destroy marriages. I think it's going to destroy marriages because it's like, why are you always plugged in? Why are you always laying in your chair with a fucking massive erection for 2 hours? And you like never talk to me because this guy's going, and then it's like, it's like he's got his second life. He's at a bar. He's like living this life that he can't, and it's going to be like a drug. People are.
I mean, the thing with that is
disconnect.
like that type of stuff already happens. Like whatever that happens now. People live completely different lives on social media.
But it's so much easier to like if you
exactly.
Feel
so that's the point.
So
here's
the
I don't know
thing.
if you want to smell it. I mean,
Here's the
no,
thing.
we're talking about neurochip though. We're talking about like a real experience.
Yeah, Neuralink.
The Matrix.
Here's the thing though.
What are you doing over there?
All of this is well and good, right? But if you
extract, steak, by the way,
huh?
I was just talking about steak, not to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
All of this is well and good, except
it.
what really we should be worried about is what the end goal is. And when I say end goal, I mean is like as a human race with
I guess that
this
was
technology.
That was kind of what I was roundabout trying to get to, and then we severely sidetracked. Is like, what would be like if you were to look at me and say, here is Neuralink, here is Metaverse, whatever you want to call it. What is the goal? What is the overall purpose? Why is it there? How is it betterment of life?
Interplanetary species is the eventual.
or completely digitize ourselves. It's one or the other.
Well, what happens to your like physical form? Like you and I got we paid like $70 something worth of snacks, right? People are going to get IV bags and plug themselves in for a whole weekend.
No, the goal could be to map out and figure out what human consciousness is, map it out, copy it, or extract it and put it onto a completely digital world.
This is like Halo 4.
Basically making the human race technically immortal. Right.
You can't reproduce.
Except not as a living, breathing.
Except not
thing,
as not a human race anymore.
Your consciousness just lives on.
So in a way, we've killed ourselves to make ourselves immortal.
So the end goal is immortality.
You become AI, basically.
Yeah, we all become one.
Well, dude, that's what I was telling. Oh, like a hive mind.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I was telling her the other day, like, think about AI. Okay, to kind of pivot a little bit, but like, kind of what you're talking about. AI, imagine in 15 years, right? Like Westworld robots are going to be like a thing. Okay. Like if you see some of these weird sex dolls people have now, dude, like it's like almost realistic, but not really. But 15 years goes by, right? Some guy, some creepy ass dude can literally groom an AI for the next 5 years. She likes everything he likes. She does this, she does that. Like he molds the perfect woman from a personality perspective. They take that digital profile, they implant that into a robot, just like Westworld. Remember how they had all the codes? And now it's like, yeah, I have the perfect woman.
I mean, is this supposed to be a bad thing?
That's going to be a product.
So
what's your argument?
That sounds awesome. Wait, a few questions here. Why do you keep going to a woman and having sex? Why is that your go-to for all this stuff?
Because
why can't it just be like a really good steak? Like you figured out what the best tasting steak in the world
because I could get that now.
You can get that now. No,
I can get a really good steak right now.
Here's why I think because
but I can't get a really gotcha.
This goes back to I think and I'm being completely biased here. I think the metaverse, when it's completely real, I think it's going to be like I sound like an evangelical Christian right now. I think it's going to be like a Sodom and Gomorrah, and like every pedophile and weirdo, like, because there's no,
I mean, that's
the worst
the
of us
internet
can,
now, though.
the worst
Like,
of us can come out. Yeah, it's like, but it's like Twitter, but in real life, right? It's like a toilet bowl in
Yeah,
real life. It's going to be the worst of us, and it's always
but
going to go
I
back to
think
some simp that pays for an OnlyFans every month, or like a Feet Finder. Okay, like those people are going to have a fucking field day. It's going to be, and it's I'm not going to go into it, but this new generation is going to embrace this, and the worst of us is going to come out, and it's
I mean,
going
the
to
worst
be
of
like
us.
predator
I mean,
shit. It's gonna be
I'm
predator
not
shit.
sure that we can get much worse than we currently are in the Twitter world. It's pretty bad out there.
you guys just sound like
Um,
old men.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
it's
do, dude, but
I
I
mean,
think because we've seen what's
And so
happened with
much
like social media.
so much
I-
negativity. I'm just
there
Dude,
is
you
the. I'm
know it's
sorry,
going to be
is there?
murderers and
But
just.
I'm sorry.
fucking-
Can you sit there with a straight face and tell me that Twitter in an overall is positive?
I
People
don't
on
see this.
Twitter are positive overall.
I could sit here and I could tell you I just made a Twitter for the first time this year, and I've only followed like 3 porn stars, and that's about it. So I know
So he
nothing
has a
about Twitter.
positive. So he has a positive Twitter output. But you
Yeah.
can't tell
I'm
me
not
that
following any.
you can't tell me that the general population of Twitter is a positive outlook on
I
things.
don't know.
Literally, just go click
I'm in a weird
one.
section.
Yeah, just
I'm
go
not. I'm
click.
not in I'm like all NFTs and crypto and shit. So I don't. They're
I'm
all
in like
okay.
I'm in jujitsu and
They're all
like
memers.
fights because of the jujitsu thing. But
So I'm not in like a bad part of Twitter or anything.
I don't.
No,
Most
but-
of Twitter is bad.
but dude, if you
I,
look
Most
at
of
like
Twitter is
I
bad.
view social media in the same lens as I view cable television news. It's all
well, it can be. Do you read the
manipulated.
No, it
comments?
is.
Oh
I agree.
yeah,
I
100%,
know.
100%.
I agree. I think the problem again becomes that people take it as people take social media, people take cable TV news, they take it as gospel and they shouldn't, and that's why it's harmful. And that's why this metaverse could end up being harmful, because people will take it as gospel and it shouldn't be, because it's not real.
Yeah, but
Well,
if you have 1,000 different things you could choose to do right now, if you're the one thing you want to do in the metaverse is go in and dissect humans, like you're already
Thank you
sick
for making
mother.
it. Thank you for making it that and not having sex with a woman. But
Okay.
continue.
I'm saying, like, if you're already that fucking twisted, you're gonna be doing that shit in real life. Most people, all of us, is that ever on your gameplay list? No, your gameplay lists are all gonna be fucking first person shooters or flying through
well, yeah, but
space.
dude,
or
when I'm
being-
playing video games, I'm shooting people nonstop.
Okay, but you're not like, I don't know.
because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's the game.
Well, okay, but
because
if
you're
it
a
was,
twisted
if people didn't
motherfucker.
think it was fun, they wouldn't be making it into a game.
but if you knew, let's just say, okay, so like, what if Westworld was a thing? You plug in, you're living in Westworld, and you know that you're not going to go to jail for getting into starting a brawl and shooting a guy with a Colt Peacemaker. You're probably going to do that. Like, there's going to be shootouts in the streets all the time, and I would probably be one of the people shooting.
It's fun.
It would be fun.
And so
There's no repercussions. There's no legal repercussions.
Let's say.
So are you saying that the
this is-
only reason that you don't kill people or shoot people is because there's repercussions?
Well, it's not the only reason, but I mean, to like boil it
that's
down,
my
it's just
point.
like,
I mean, to me, you just saying that because there's no repercussions,
Okay.
I'm going to start shooting people in the street. So this is so
there's
now
no
we're on a
legal
whole different
repercussions. I don't have
topic
to like, like there's like no family that has to grieve and all that. It's not immoral. It's just because there's no, it's not real. It
So you were
feels
socially
real. It tastes
okay
real.
with
It smells
No,
real.
but-
taking a life.
Seth, did you watch Westworld?
Who's like,
Yeah, I did. I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons and I
Okay,
found it was
so-
garbage and
so
stopped watching.
In Westworld, the robots are not people, and you go into that world knowing that.
yeah, Seth, you would go.
So
You would pay 40K.
the only reason why they're doing that kind of stuff
I
in the
wouldn't.
first place
So
is
here's the thing,
because
though.
of that.
Here's the thing, though.
Right.
I'm not saying I wouldn't shoot someone. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I wouldn't go in there with the sole purpose of being able to
No,
shoot. I
dude,
wouldn't
I'm
be
not
in there
either.
going, you know
I'm
what?
not either. I'm not.
I
You're
can shoot
twisting my
someone
words,
now,
making it
so
seem
I'm
like I'm
gonna
this
do
like
it.
fucking lunatic. I'm just saying, like, if you go to Westworld, right, at some point in the day of Westworld, before the day's over, you're probably gonna fucking shoot someone. Let's be honest, right?
But
Because
is
it's
that-
just Westworld. That's part of it.
And now in real life, you're gonna be a murderer because you shot people in game.
No, I mean,
you guys that's the point you were trying to make.
No, my
I
point is
think-
that
I
it's,
think
the
that-
line
yeah,
is
go
go,
ahead.
if you do it enough, the line gets blurred.
I think
Period.
I think that you set a benchmark or a
Does
threshold.
it, or are you just worried it will?
I'm worried it will. I'm worried it will.
Yeah,
that's why
I
I
don't think
keep
it's
saying the
I
sex thing,
But
Seth, because I think that it's
I
gonna.
think it's the worry.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's me. I'm saying it should be a general worry because that's how the human mind works. That's what
I
Rich
don't
and I
think
are
so.
saying
It's
with
not how I
addiction.
work.
Yeah,
I know
maybe
that's
we
not how
shouldn't
I
give
work.
Seth this game.
Right, but you are not.
Yes.
But
You
here's the
would do
thing.
it if Elon
Here's the
Musk made
thing.
the
Take
roadshow.
any human being that has an addictive personality. Take anything that's addiction based, right?
Mhm.
The reason you have an addiction is because you get that dopamine level, and then you
Yes.
can't achieve that again. So you keep trying to do more and more and more. So if
Yeah.
you're an addictive person and you're killing people in the metaverse and you keep getting it, and then you keep killing more to get that new one, eventually the metaverse ain't going to do it for you, and you might end up having to go out and kill a real person.
Well, wait, hang on though.
I don't think
I
so.
think
I
Out of
think
the-
that's what the metaverse is for. It's
to take it out
because the
in there.
real world doesn't do it for you.
That
it's your release.
Yes.
Yes to overall. I think so, Seth, to your point, and to Mike's point. Mike made a point.
Like, are you kidding?
I-
I want to get out of here as fucking quick as possible.
I don't
Get me
I
in the
don't
fucking metaverse, man.
I don't-
It's
I
going
don't
fucking
think-
blows.
I don't think that everyone's going to turn into a murderer. I think that there's going to be a
No, I don't
small
think that's
percentage
the
of
case.
people
Yeah.
that are going to turn into that are going to take it. So I
More
wanna be
than
clear about
are
that.
already
Correct.
murderers.
I think
Yeah,
that you are going
yeah.
to see more
do.
people jump that line from thinking about to performing.
Dude, look what social media has done. Social media through retargeting and all the
I don't think
politics
so.
involved in it dude, it's made people go into the street and fist fight other people and call them, hey, you're a fascist, you're a communist, cool, let's fist fight each other over it, or let's
Forget fist fighting. People have been shot
shooting,
over social
people
media.
are shooting over it because of social media, like is making people go out into the street because it's divided us, right? Like, and all that. And I think if Twitter can make people think the sky is falling, right? Oh, Trump's in office, we're going to become Nazi Germany, or like, oh, Biden's ruined the economy. If it can make people like think that and take action, I think a metaverse is going to make a select, because again, not everybody who is on social media is going out and acting like
Right.
an asshole. But I think if you're in the metaverse every day and it feels real, again, this is total immersion, then it does kind of increase that threshold. And you're going to have that lunatic kid who doesn't have that frontal lobe fully formed. And he's going to just be chasing that high. And he's going to be like, you know what? Now I'm going to take it into the real world. So me, I'd be confident that I could drop into a Western, like I could do Red Dead Redemption 2 and the metaverse / Matrix, right? And I could have fun in it, and then I could take it off and just go to bed and get up and go to work the next day. And I wouldn't, I don't think I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I really want to ride with my group of bandits. Right. And like,
I'll be honest with you. I think we are so far away from anything realistic to the point where you can't tell the difference that none of us are going to be alive.
I agree.
I think it was.
I agree. No, I agree. I think
there are more
dude, you're
intricacies on this portion of my forehead than in an entire game that just came out today in 2020.
Our grandparents thought that we would never make that space, that Flash Gordon was a huge joke. We would never get to space, and then we landed on the moon like 30 years later.
Did we?
Well,
Whoa.
we know this though. We have rockets that are now coming. Dude, fucking 10 years ago, if you're like, yeah, we're gonna have rockets come back to a platform, I would have been like, wow.
Bro, it's so cool to watch.
Yeah, but that being
said,
so
cool,
cool
but look how far we've come.
We have not been back to the moon since.
That being said, also on the same token of people watching Flash Gordon thinking it could never happen, people watch Back to the Future and we're past the future time in Back to the Future and don't have half the shit that they thought we were going to have by this point in time.
That's
so
true.
I mean,
you reel it back on the realism. I think
you can watch Flash Gordon now and you can still go, oh man, I can't wait until that will be real life, because it's still not there. We're so far away,
dude. The things that you need to get for full immersion are forget about it. The human body is way too. Yeah, but the human body is way too complex for that.
The world is too complex.
Yeah.
The world is too complex.
I don't even think they could develop the world, the metaverse world to put the people in.
They're gonna use AI to do it.
But we don't have this real world doesn't have the ability to create another world of that.
No, dude, I think with AI now, and look how far AI has come in just like 6 months, dude. Plus, you have some of the biggest companies in the world that are investing in this. You have Meta, you have some of the biggest consultancies in the world. You got the government obviously now looking into this. Like, you have so much backing for this that I do think between AI and all that, we'll go somewhere.
You mentioned the Matrix before, correct?
Yeah, I'm talking like 20 years is a long time for technology, though.
It's not enough. I will tell you.
It's faster and faster.
No, I'm talking about our world. It does not.
But the problem is certain things will get faster, Rich. But at the end of the day, the red tape is the red tape, and that's never going to get faster.
I mean,
you
dude,
only move as fast as the red tape goes, and that's going to take forever.
There are still towns with dirt fucking roads in the United States. Like, we're
3/4 of the country.
Yeah, we're nowhere near the Matrix. Nowhere near.
Those people will be the ones that probably want to plug in. I don't know. I think that it's
or the ones that'll never let it anywhere near their place.
Maybe not. Hey, good for them, because here's the thing. I think it's the negative will outweigh the positive, and I think people are, dude. Okay, here's why. And you kept asking me why do I keep going back to the sex thing, dude. Look at how the young generation like gets each other's numbers or flirts. It's Snapchat. It's like, hey, what's your Snapchat? When I go to the gym, dude,
but that's because but you got to remember that's how they communicate in life in general now because they have it.
But there's like a physical disconnect, and that's why I think
you didn't wait till your crush came on AIM until you started. You became uninvisible.
No,
and you were like, oh, hey, you just got here, every day. So did I.
Yeah, but then I saw her every day in real life, and I just think this like generation is just so much like they're in front of screens all the time. The screen time is so high, and I just think there's going to be. They've embraced technology, which in a lot of ways is a good thing. But I think that they will take it, they will be the ones to take it really far, and they'll be the ones to, I would say, abuse it to the point where I do think there's going to be just a lot of weirdos that are like, okay, I can have Ana de Armas, okay? Like what was that movie? Blade Runner, the new one. And Ana de Armas is like a fucking holograph, and she looks like a real girlfriend. She's your digital girlfriend.
Hell yeah, dude.
People are paying for OnlyFans. They're paying for like anime porn. Do you honestly think? And this is like super common. I bring this up because you can't go on Twitter and go underneath a comment. I mean, Tyler, I don't know if in your circle is the same, but like if you go on like some of these like, I mean, anything, dude, sports, whatever. There's always some sort of OnlyFans girl commenting on it. It's like a top comment, and then like some of the comments back are really funny, but like some of the ones are just like sad shit, dude. And there's so many of them guys like, yeah. And they pay for it. And Twitch has become an OnlyFans. It's become basically a softcore porn site in some corners of it where people are promoting their OnlyFans. It's like a hot chick playing video games.
I'm going to Twitch at the wrong spots.
So people are getting their release and not killing people or raping people in the real world.
I firmly believe that the metaverse again.
Yeah, mass shootings are totally down with the influx of social media. Continue though.
Yeah. I think
I need to see some stats first before you say something like that.
Are you kidding me?
Baseless claim.
Everyone has a fucking a lot of them have manifestos allegedly.
I'm sorry. You think that mass shootings in the United States are down?
I don't know. But
no.
This year
we've had more mass shootings in this year than we have for the past years already. And mass shootings are going way up, dude.
And that's stemming from, I believe, mental illness, which social media has played a huge role in it. But then you have the metaverse, and if it's real and all that, I do think that people are just gonna, aside from hey, is it gonna make somebody a killer? I think it's gonna be the worst thing.
Dude. You just hit it. Forget about the weirdos. Forget about the sex freaks. Forget about the mass, like the serial killer types. Think of all the people. Think of all the people that are just depressed because they go on social media and everybody portrays that they're having this fantastic life, and you have this keeping up with the Joneses syndrome, and you're like, why am I not like that? So you're depressed. Then you start getting made fun of because you're not keeping up on the social media like everybody else. Then you're starting to get bullied. Then you end up, you're depressed.
We're talking about social media and like a video game metaverse. How is
I mean, the video game metaverse is going to be social media.
Social has done.
It's going to be.
But that's like a fucking mind. This is your release. This is fucking you trying to keep up with the Joneses.
But if anything's possible, dude, there's no repercussions to do whatever you want.
They merge
bad shit. People can do bad shit.
I'm thinking the human, like, we're going to suffer from
social media and all that stuff. The news is going to be a very small aspect.
Basically, my point is they're doing that fucked up shit for which honestly that kid deserves to get his teeth fucking knocked out. But like they're doing that kind of shit for likes and for stuff like that. for likes and for views and impressions, and they're trying to monetize it, right?
I mean, it goes back to the one whatever Paul brother that went to the dead Japanese forest or whatever.
Oh, I forgot about that. Like, yeah, where the person was hanging or whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. And he caught flack for sure for that, but he's obviously now like people forgot about
Seems to be doing okay.
But my point is it's like if you then see what social has made people do, then you enter into a world. Total immersion, there's no repercussions. And Seth, that doesn't mean I'm saying that's the only thing that's keeping you from killing people.
I wasn't gonna say it anymore.
But like
it's a big
there's no repercussions. You could be who you want to be. You could change your name. Dude, I'll tell you, when I left New York City, Okay. And I was like going around the country for a bit. And I was on my Harley just riding around. Every bar on the side of the road, I could
God, you're
change
so
my name.
hot.
I could be whoever I could be whoever I wanted to be. I could have a different backstory. I could be whoever I wanted to be. Okay. It was awesome just to be like, I'm not going to share my life story. I'm just whatever coming through. Imagine now you're in this like city in the metaverse and you can do whatever you want. I think that at a certain point, a normal person will go, you know what? I could drive this supercar 150 miles an hour, and if I hit somebody, not big deal, whatever. Like, and it's going to go further and further and further because the dopamine release is going to
I
become
don't think
harder
so,
and
man,
harder.
because the world itself is going to evolve more than what we know it now. And by the time the metaverse is to where you guys are imagining it, the world will be at that level.
It's
It's the
true. We'll
same.
be in a
It's this.
police
Like, do you think
state
we'll have
anyway, so we're good.
like wearables? Oh, dude, that's the
No,
thing, dude.
I,
People
I'm
will
just like
100% want to escape this world. 100%.
no. I just mean like, dude. Again, I'll go back to like VC, like a comparison of VCR to DVD. It's like we're not used to that until it comes out, and then we become used to it. And then after DVD, there's going to be Blu-ray, and then the next one. It's just the next step of evolution and entertainment.
So,
And
but are you saying people aren't going to want to use that as a disconnect because the world here is going to progress faster, or?
no, I'm saying that the people are going to be ready for it,
So hang on.
and they will not be
This is
thinking
But you're never going to be
and
able to
worrying
fly.
about things that you are
so
worried
so
about
hang
now.
on, hang on. I'm gonna pose this as my final point, and then I'm done talking about this because
I got to piss really badly because
I
just keep
I gotta
talking.
piss and I'm tired and whatever. My
Oh, we
question
still got the
is,
lightning
We
rod.
saw,
We
wait,
got.
we
I
saw
know.
lightning rod, any aliens?
I know,
Okay.
I know. Focus. So last question on the metaverse. It's in full flex. There's
Yeah,
three
yeah.
options. We become better because of it. We become worse because of it. We stay the same because of it.
I can't hold it anymore. I'll be back. I'm listening.
What are you thinking?
I think we're different. I don't know what's your measure of better.
Yeah, that's tough.
Crime is down. Cost of living is easier. There's less poverty.
That's never going to happen. I don't think the metaverse is going to solve any of those.
Yeah,
things.
why is the metaverse gonna be blamed for one of like?
I'm not saying it's causing that. What I'm saying is, I don't know, people who couldn't necessarily go to medical school because it was too expensive now can take it in the metaverse, right? People who can't travel to do the things they want to do can now do it in the metaverse and the experiences. That could certainly pump up your economy. More jobs are available because of it. That would make it better. See, I'm also not saying it's totally bad. There are good benefits to it. I'm just saying, is it overall going to be better, worse, or the same?
I don't necessarily think it's going to be the end all be all solution to everything. It's just going to be another tool in our toolbox.
I like that answer. I think that as long as it's not something that's forced on you, that you feel like where you start a job and they're like, all right, when you come in, you hook up to the Neuralink and then you're in there for 8 hours and that's your day.
It might be. Eventually it might be, but
see, that's a problem though, in my mind, if you're forcing someone to use it.
People are going to be ready for it by then.
I mean, they forced everybody to get the shot. Everybody did, so.
Except you. Your sperm is worth a lot.
You want some?
We talked about that side gig. So the scalable side gig was that we would sell his sperm, but for me to get it cut,
okay, stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused.
But Seth, I was listening. I get your point for sure. I think Mike, I get everyone's point here. I mean, I think
everyone was right.
We probably don't
I think
know.
I think it's a great. I think what's great is that there is a discussion about it. Like the sheer fact that you can discuss it, like we just discussed it for half an hour, is super important.
Way longer than that. I think it was like
because
an hour.
You know why though? It's just such a deep thing because it's literally, it's like the next frontier.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the next frontier.
Yeah, speaking of the next frontier, and you could use the metaverse to train an alien to fight an alien.
Yes.
Space
Force. Slick go. You guys are great.
Do you believe, number one, do you believe in aliens? And if the answer, do you believe in aliens? Let's start there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
What do you think an encounter would be like? Do you think there's different species of aliens? What do you think? How would it affect society?
What do they look like?
What do they look like?
Well, that's a very. How many hours do we have left?
That has about 5 minutes.
Yes, I believe in aliens. As far as like what they're gonna look like, yeah. I can't tell you because that's gonna depend on why do we look like how we do, because of the planet we live on.
Yeah,
so that's gonna totally, determine what they look like. It's also going to determine how they got here based on the materials that are at their available location. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the whole. I don't know. Have you if you guys have followed it? The whole like gravity
Element zero.
18th element that they just like came up with, right?
No.
Well, we have a PhD of chemistry here. Seth, are
I've
you aware
literally
of this?
never heard of this. What's
Ooh.
it
I've heard of
called?
element zero, where they like fuck with gravity.
Yeah, I don't remember what element it is, but basically there was a doctor, not a doctor, an engineer who was
Oh, he might have been a doctor.
I mean maybe, but
Not a real one though, not an MD, like a PhD of chemistry or
Right.
something.
yeah. No, I'm messing with you. But no, he got I can't remember his name. Lazar. Dr.
Oh, Bob Lazar.
Bob
Oh,
Lazar.
Bob Lazar.
Oh yeah, well, no, for all the space stories, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I know
so
about Bob Lazar. Yeah.
he called that element out in the 1980s. He said it was a thing. He said exactly what it was going to do, all that shit, and then they just came out with it like a few years ago, and they added it to the periodic table or whatever you want to call it. He was a joke up until that point, right? Everybody thought he was bullshitting you until it actually happened. And that element apparently is it element zero is what you're talking about?
I think that's what they call
Moscovium? No, it's Moscovium. Is that
What's
the
his
one
name?
you're
Bob
talking about?
Lazar. Let's just look this up. Bob Lazar, element zero.
It's No, element zero is
Oh,
not.
115, is that it?
Yeah.
Element 115,
Yeah, it's Moscovium.
Yeah.
How many elements are there, Seth?
Basically, they think that that
115
element.
apparently.
Basically, they think that element in stable form can produce enough energy to travel with gravity as a form of propulsion,
Wow.
and they think that is how aliens got here, right? If they are here now, and whatever based on the technology that he saw when he was at Area S1 or whatever place, right? Whatever it was. He that's what they made him study, like that part of the alien spacecraft. So my point, the whole reason why I got into that is based on whatever materials, elements, metals, gas, whatever they have on whatever planet they're from, that will determine how they got here.
And there's certainly different shit out there than that's on this planet. So yeah.
We went down the path of combustion.
Right.
They might not.
The different elements that do different things.
Yeah.
I think the idea behind it is, I just read a little bit about it. So his idea behind it is the same sense where we use combustion as our means for fueling, right? So two things come together, you get carbon dioxide and water, and you get a force off of it.
That
right? That's
might
how
not
we
even
move.
exist on the planet that
Right.
they can.
Right. And so this is what Lazar was talking about with this element 115, is because it's a super heavy metal and it goes away really quickly. Potentially what's happening is it's a different sort of rocket fuel that makes things go faster. So the idea behind it is if other areas have other things that are even faster, it can propel them even farther.
And we might not even be able to comprehend it because we don't even know it exists.
Right.
What if they come here and
it
you're
doesn't
like,
exist here?
We should drill for oil. You guys have oil. We need oil.
So will they be friendly, or are we going to encounter some aliens here to destroy us?
I don't think.
Keep talking. I gotta pee.
That's tough, man. I don't think if they came all the way here, why?
Mm-hmm.
And you really think that answer is going to be friendly?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't.
It could be. I think
so. That's us projecting.
Right.
That's us projecting our hopes and God and all that stuff out there. You know, like that's.
So what if they come from a planet?
Would we be friendly if we went to another planet?
No,
nope.
fuck no.
Try Absolutely to go there, pretend like we were.
They're paying us. If they're paying us taxes or tribute, I think.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well,
why would they be friendly?
So that we talked about this maybe with Shawnee or whatever, right? But it's like on a few podcasts. We come from a planet where resources are finite, and therefore we've had every living being.
Everything is finite.
Everything's finite. Well, but here's the thing, right? The fact is, how quickly does it, I guess, replenish itself, right? So we talk about things like green energies and all this. Humans, ants, everything have had to compete with each other for mates, for resources, and food, water, all this kind of stuff. So if they come from a planet, right, where there's like just lush, like, they basically don't have to worry about running out of food and water and mates and this kind of stuff. then they might not have that like aggressive gene or whatever the hell thing in our mind that makes us aggressive. So they might come here, and we talked about this too. It's kind of like when you go to the zoo, that whatever the zoo is for like reptiles, where the guy throws a dead chicken to like 50 alligators, and everyone's like, "Wow, that's amazing." You watch it. It's like maybe they come to planet Earth to watch us, and they're like, it's like they're mesmerized by us, but they're like, "Don't get your hand bit because these creatures are fucking, they'll kill you."
Yeah, I mean that could be it. That could be what we're seeing right now.
I would say, so do you think the ones we've seen are they scouts? Or are they already here and they're just hanging around? And then like if some shit goes wrong, they tell like the mother planet, like, yo, it's time.
I don't know. It's tough because there's people that think it's us from the future.
Could be. Yeah, I can see that.
There's people that it kind of like what was that one movie with fuck, starts with an I.
Interstellar.
Interstellar, yeah. In Interstellar, he like it's basically you find out at the end he was kind of guided by humans that were already in the future.
Yeah, right.
Right.
He was guiding himself for his daughter or something.
Yeah, something like that. And that kind of goes back, that kind of like talks about time travel. I know this kind of we're all over the place, but if time travel, the moment time travel is created, makes everything past, present, and future irrelevant all at the same time. Because if you have the ability to go back and forth in time, you can change everything.
We gotta have you, dude. We gotta have you on for another one to talk about this, because there's like so many directions.
Well, it's all connected. It's all connected.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you police that and make sure that people don't go back? Like when Trunks wasn't supposed to go back in time and tell everybody about Dragon Ball Z.
Stop policing shit. Stop
all about
bringing up
policing
words.
Android or Android. Remember when Trunks wasn't supposed to go back in time and tell everybody about the androids or whatever?
Yeah, and look what happened. He saved the day.
That's true. He did. Well, let me. So, yeah, but then there's anyway.
But what if someone went back in time and did something bad? Couldn't you just go further back in time and stop?
Or if a neo-Nazi was
know.
like, "Hey, don't do this, Hitler," like he saves Hitler.
Dude,
like,
you could kill Hitler, and you could.
If that's a question, then are we even like? What is the real world? Like if you could constantly go back in time and change what someone else has changed,
you just keep hopping back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just it. Who knows?
Dude, watch the movie. Comedian that talked about this, or
watch the movie. Watch the movie Looper. Looper is a great.
Oh, I've seen it.
I haven't watched that.
But that's what I was talking about. You could go back and kill Hitler, but you don't know what the effects of that are actually going to be. You think it could be good, but it might not.
It might not be. Yeah. So okay, so if we were, first off, before I get to that, you saw these aliens that allegedly crashed in like Vegas recently, and they were in like people's backyard.
No,
I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I didn't see that.
10 foot tall, dude. There's everyone that was told. The cop was like nervous because they saw something like crash. The cop was nervous. He had his body cam, but everyone talking was like, they were like calm. They're like, yeah, two really big aliens, probably like 10 foot tall. It's like if you just saw a fucking alien, you'd be like, like you would not be calm. Like you just saw like,
they're here, y'all. It's over.
You'd be freaking the fuck out, and they were all really calm. So I think that was a bunch of bullshit. But if we were to, if we knew, we confirmed aliens were real, like they came down, we had contact, it was on the news and all that, like we knew it was real. What do you think would happen in society?
Complete and utter disarray and collapse.
Yeah, dude. Because everything you do
save us,
nothing.
Save us.
But what if you be like that? But what if you policed it? Couldn't you just police it, right, Rich?
Yeah, you can.
But what if you could like get all the people who are nuts and kind of like lock them away?
I think that's called Florida.
Or you just kill them all, right?
I think everything that like we do for a living would be meaningless.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Because it's like, there's this great beyond, there's other cultures, that we have to master getting into space, right? So selling software for a living, or pumping gas, or like name a job basically, other than Medicare, right?
I was gonna say keeping us alive is pretty important. So like medicine and doctors.
Dude, I don't know about you guys, but if that did happen, I would drop everything.
Yeah.
And my entire focus would be to learn about what's going on, and then
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
you'd
want- I
still
wanna
have
be
to
involved.
live. But
I
you'd
wanna be
still have to
involved.
live. So
We
like,
do,
who's
but
gonna
we
get
should-
you? Who's gonna
So-
who's gonna
Really?
produce the food
You
that
think
you
I
get?
really give a shit if they get my fucking rent check tomorrow?
No, but I'm saying more along the
There's
lines
a
of
fucking
like,
alien
no,
ship
no, 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 no,
above
no.
my,
I'm not
my
even. I'm not
in the
even saying
sky.
about the money aspect. I'm saying like, where's your food coming from? Someone's got to make that food, right? Someone's got to get
So the
that food and
necessities,
prepare
the
it.
necessities would have to
Right?
stay, but it's like,
Exactly. So you
are we gonna
can't.
use?
Everyone can't drop everything and start looking at aliens. Then we'd
Sure,
all
but
just
are we
cease
gonna
to exist.
are we gonna use like metal and stuff to make cars? We're gonna no. You need
No,
that
war
metal to create a
machine.
spaceship.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Certain things would absolutely shift focus, but we still have to live as human beings on this planet. So we need
Yeah, so
electricity,
farmers would
we
be
need
important. Doctors would be
food,
important.
we need to go places.
It'd
Like,
be like if we
I-
were going to war.
I mean, dude,
yeah,
it could
absolutely.
be.
I agree. I agree with Tyler.
Factories would change and
Yep.
There's a couple
Yeah.
of
You'd
things.
be rationed.
It could go like they know we exist, they're watching us, and maybe we're just not at the height of civilization that we need to be for them to interact with us yet.
Yeah, they're like these guys are just.
They're
like
not ready.
monkeys. They're like
They're just
that's
not
like
ready.
how we view chimpanzees.
still got a million years.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
why that's why I feel like we haven't seen them because they show up and they're like, they're
But we
not
have
ready yet.
seen them.
Deuces.
Maybe I think they're fucking afraid of us, to be honest.
Mm.
I do, dude. Because I think for like we always are like, wow, their technology is so much better than ours. We're basing that on the fact that they were able to fly here, right? But if they they excel at dude,
Dude.
they
No,
excel at flying,
pretty
right?
crazy.
But they might not
It-
excel at like us. Like we're really good at killing each other.
dude, no, but you don't
Mhm.
understand. Like we came up with oh God. Basically, if you come up with gravitational propulsion, you then take that and you can throw that into any industry and change it completely. Like it's like electricity. It's like the invention of electricity. It's like the invention of the telephone. Like it's you build your entire industry off of an invention like that.
Yeah, you could have
So
like a turbine that keeps spinning because the gravity keeps making it.
What if
fall.
they-
Yeah, so
but what
not,
if they've,
not
like-
only are they going to be able to get here, they will be able to incorporate that technology in every aspect of their life.
Weapons.
They will have weapons that will
Well,
probably
What
disintegrate us.
if they focused
they might
all
not.
of their
They
but
might
what if
not.
they focused all of their resources and thoughts and whatnot into
That's-
getting here so that they don't have sustainable food
That's
or
way too
sustainable
naive.
living
That's-
corridors
Why are they coming
That's
here?
not. I think that's naive to think
to
that.
get those things?
Maybe they could fly, but that doesn't mean that they excel in like so many other areas. Like maybe they still use hand to hand, and we're just blasting them away with like a 12-gauge shotgun.
They don't even have hands, man.
Bro, yeah, come on.
What
They
are
don't
you
got
talking
hands.
about?
Are you
You're
serious?
Again,
Skulls, I don't know. They got whatever the
Again,
fuck
you
they
guys are
got.
thinking at like a base level. You gotta extrapolate.
Why are we
this.
giving them so much credit? That's all we're wondering is why
Because
are we
they
giving them so much
traveled
credit?
across
Yes.
the universe.
But that's
Things we-
one thing though. That's like one
we can't
area.
even leave our atmosphere.
Yeah.
Uh,
To get to our own moon. We're not even sure if we did that.
yeah, we are not ready. And if they show up today, kiss your ass goodbye.
Dude, no way.
I'm
UNSC, Master Chief, Super Soldier, Spartan 117, we're good.
Nah, dude.
Halo.
Unless they keep us as like a petting zoo. Then maybe we'll stick
Just-
around.
yeah,
Maybe
just look
maybe
at
that's
us.
what they're already doing. Maybe they can see us from wherever they are.
Yeah,
and they're
maybe
just like,
we're-
this is such a fun little petting zoo.
Maybe we're gonna be their metaverse. They're gonna plug in and they're just gonna play one of our bodies.
Maybe they do. Maybe like, it's like
maybe that's what they're doing now.
the roach guy in Men in Black. They just strap on our
Well,
skin.
that's what I was just gonna say. I was like, we're in a snow globe in just like in Men in Black. Like our
Oh,
planet
God.
is in a snow globe,
Right.
and we're just in their hand, or we're one of the marbles that the alien kid just threw onto the ground.
Mike, what do you think about the simulation theory?
Oh my God.
Which I solved that
Um,
one time when I was with you, by the way. I
It's
still have the
possible.
paper around here somewhere.
It's possible. It's possible. Again, we don't know what consciousness is. We don't know what coincidence is. We don't know what fate is. All this stuff. There's too many questions.
Yeah. So many
We
questions.
don't-
And also like the no beginning, no end thing to the universe. And like to me, the Big Bang Theory just doesn't make any sense. There was nothing, and all of a sudden there's this explosion. Then there was just everything. It's like, nah, it doesn't really, I don't know. I just can't comprehend like
But
a
it's
no
it's
beginning, no
because
end.
we don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I
because
think it's
we-
a stupid fucking theory to be honest, but
I don't know. Sounds plausible.
there's
mean,
nothing
there's-
and then there's just everything.
I mean, there's a lot
How
of
else
literature
does
out
it-
there that supports it, but it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah, there was also a lot of literature that like supported some of the crazy
There is
crazy shit we
one
heard
book.
about, like hey, burn
There
a
is-
witch in the fucking.
There is one book. I thought you were going
Hey,
to
take this
Bible
vaccine,
reference,
blah,
in
blah,
which
blah, blah.
case I was going to say there is one book for the Bible.
No, but my point is like there's so much literature and like science that was real back in the day, which we now know is like completely laughable. So I
Like
just think
science
like
from 2020, right?
yeah, exactly. 2020, perfect example.
2019
Oh
specifically.
yes,
Right,
yes,
right around
yes.
the
Yeah.
February.
So I just think like the Big Bang Theory to me just again, but that's because I can't comprehend. Like if I look up into the sky and I'm like, this
But
just keeps on
See,
going.
that's not
just
really
it.
fair though, that
That's
you're
just
saying
it.
it doesn't
No,
exist
nobody.
because you can't comprehend it.
No, to me, I think it's a stupid theory because it's just no beginning, no end makes no sense because everything else has a beginning
The
of an
chicken
end.
or the egg.
I mean, look
Now all of a
though,
sudden there's not.
bro. Just look. I mean, it looks like it
Yeah.
goes forever.
Forever.
I mean,
It does make
Seth is
sense.
literally in it right now.
Yeah, duh, guys, come on. This
Yeah,
is why I
look.
put my background as this first. I'm trying to do themed backgrounds. That's my thing.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, it is not.
Sounds
Um,
perfect.
can you get this? Did you know there are people out there? I had heard it on a podcast once. I can't remember what. There are people out there who are actually convinced that we know less about the sea than we do about space. And it's the most laughable thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I think
There
that's
are-
true.
No, at least we know what elements are most likely in the ocean.
Yeah, maybe not that we know less, but we don't know what's down there. We
Oh
can't.
yeah, no,
The
we don't.
pressure's- The
I mean,
pressure is too.
no, but there is absolutely we know much less about space than we do about.
Sure.
Mm.
I think maybe you
But the
worded
fact
that
that people, yeah, some
differently.
people are like, no way, man, we know way more about space than we know about the sea, and I'm like,
You can't compare.
Yeah. I feel
Can't
like
compare.
everything in space is stuff that we don't know that we don't know. Like there's just all it could be fucking anything on a different
Yeah.
planet.
I really would hope though that if we do discover life, like when you look at Star Wars and you see like the Senate and there's like 300 races that are all kind of getting along except for the whole Empire and Separatist thing. But
I mean, yeah, that totally worked out.
No,
for them. Continue.
I think what you're going for more is the Mass Effect thing.
where like people get wiped out every
Like
Ooh,
how
what?
all the races got together on the space station.
Oh
was like
yeah,
it
like
was
I
like
like just seeing. I hope it's like a level of cooperation.
But
Like-
that's what I was talking about.
Mm.
We might just not be ready, and they're
We
watching
might not
us
be
until
ready.
we are.
Yeah, dude. Actually, now you say that when you put it that way, that's a very good theory. Maybe we're not ready to be brought into the fold. There might be some great cooperation somewhere where they're just
Yeah.
like so far beyond the perfect society. It's a utopia. And
We're
it's
just not there.
We're just not there yet. They're like,
And-
these people are gonna fuck it up because they're so immature. They're killing each other.
And the ones
So-
we've seen are just like guardians. They just like look over us and like they're like their police force or
Well,
something.
dude. So there are.
They're
Policing.
Did you just want to say policing again?
Yeah. No, no. I didn't.
There are stories though, right? Like across so many different cultures across the world that never met each other. That up until, of course, like recent history, that have they have these stories where they've been guided by a floating fortress in the sky, where there's a cloud that this tribe followed, or like stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so there might have been encounters. Then of course you could also say, well, is the Bigfoot a real thing because in the Yeti, because cultures and dragons and all that, but still, I think like there's things that not prove it, but like could allude to the fact that there have been encounters before where they might have looked over us.
Mhm.
But I think Mike, you might hit the nail on the head, and Tyler, you might have said something about this too. But like, we might just not be ready to join that because we're such a danger to ourselves. They're like, if we're like a cancer. If you bring these humans into this fold, they're gonna fucking kill us all. They're too
Yeah.
greedy.
Until we're not even close, but until
Yeah.
we're like one planet moving forward together,
Yeah.
they're not even gonna sniff us.
Yeah, you're right. So you want one global order, one world order underneath Joe Biden.
I don't know why. I
Multi-planetary
don't know why
species.
it keeps coming down to like policing everybody and like
Yeah.
the order of things. I don't
Gotta
know why
control
you
the
keep going
people.
there.
Control the people.
I'm just fucking with you. But okay, so let's move on to the lightning round. Tyler, why don't you Tyler or Seth, why don't you take the lead here?
I don't even have the document on.
Because I couldn't find those fucking questions.
You couldn't.
All right,
No,
give me 3 things on your bucket list.
On my bucket list.
Yes.
Fuck, I gotta make shit up now. I can't just say what I actually want to put on my bucket list.
just say it, we'll edit it out.
Just say it. Yeah.
Well, I definitely want to travel. I don't even have my passport. I've never been out of the United States since I was a kid, and I only
Dude,
went to
really?
Canada.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, I only went to Canada.
Let's plan a trip. We'll plan a trip.
Yeah, like I wanna go places.
He's just trying to kill you. He wants to bring you somewhere, then you've done it, it's off your bucket list, and he can kill you.
He's had plenty of opportunities.
There's no regrets in his new world. There'll be no regrets for it, so he'll just do it.
No consequence.
Yeah, no consequences.
New world order.
We would be gods.
I know this will never happen. But I want to go to space. Like
Yeah,
that's our next
That's
question.
question
on the
number
lightning
2.
round.
Is it really? Yeah, dude.
Is it really?
I love that shit, man.
Hell yeah.
I love I wish we were at the point where we could like choose to become a space explorer.
It'd be so cool.
Like I want that to be a job.
That'd be
And
so cool.
I don't mean like NASA sending us on a mission to the moon. I mean like I have my own ship. I can go wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah,
that
you're like
kind
Han
of-
Solo. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would love that shit.
Like
Like
fucking legit. Yeah.
That would be so cool.
it'll never happen unless I go into the metaverse.
But then you might end up murdering people afterwards.
Then all of a sudden you become a
Yeah,
mass
of
murderer.
course. They put a blaster in your hand and you can go light speed to get away. Yeah, Mike's gonna shoot somebody.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna shoot.
You'll
somebody.
never-
Come on.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm
Who
gonna
shot
shoot
first?
Burrito.
Who shot? Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
It'll be fucking obvious I shot first too. I'll get up and I'll tell everybody I did it.
Like the Godfather when he blasts those 2 people at the table.
Yeah.
So what's the third one? Don't say like Saray or whatever. Minx.
Yeah, right. God. She's number 4. I don't know, man. It's tough because your bucket list. Are we talking about like attainable things or just?
Yeah, obtainable. Yeah.
Well, there goes my second one's out the door.
Not necessarily.
I don't know, man. I just want to be comfortable.
Okay, that's respectable. That's a good
yeah.
bucket list item. Well, you're kind of there now, though. You're comfortable, right? So
Yeah,
the couch is fucking comfortable. That was the best sleep I got in a long
it's a
time.
good catch. No, I would like to be a video game streamer.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
what I would like.
Let's do a 90-day challenge.
Okay.
Who can get the most follows or subs in 90 days?
All right, that's fine. But you actually got to play video games.
I will. Starting on 7-1, you, me, whoever else we want to invite. Because here's the other thing. Here's the other piece of it, right? If we challenge ourselves to do that, each other, really, in reality, what we're doing is we're forcing ourselves to just start.
Yeah, we're policing ourselves.
Policing.
Ourselves. We're policing ourselves.
This is a really great lightning round. These questions are coming out super fast.
Yeah. Mike, if
Sorry.
if the world was ending tomorrow, what would you do? If the world was ending tomorrow, blows up tomorrow. World's ending,
Rub a
what would you
big.
do? Why would you ruin it? Why would you?
That was the stupidest. He told me about that.
Yes.
Oh, do you want to do a fucking heist? I guess no. We
No,
wait, we
I want to go
talked about
get
this.
pussy, bro.
We talked about this. It's like, well, the cops aren't going to show up to work either, and like no one's going to show up to the bank, so it's
It won't be
I guess
fun.
that's pointless. That's
I mean,
pointless.
dude, I'm gonna go out like either in a bed of women or dogs. like cute dogs.
For different reasons.
For different reasons. Different reasons. Maybe I'll get the bunch of dogs to like allure the women in.
Yeah. There you go, dude. But if the metaverse was real, I 100% would do a heist at least one time. 100%.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like the town or GTA, like just making it real.
Yeah.
Okay, back
Or,
to the
Payday.
lightning
All right, back to the lightning
round.
round, though. Next question.
If time travel were real and you could only time travel once and you couldn't come back, where would you go?
Future.
Where any particular, how far in the future?
1,000 years.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Or maybe like 500.
Okay, you would go back in time.
No, forward. I would never go back. Fuck. Why would I go back? If I
It
can't
already
come back,
happened.
yeah. If I can't come back, I don't want to go backwards. I
Oh,
want to
you
go.
can't come back. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely want to go in the future and see where we are.
Okay.
In life for never mind. This is lightning round. Fuck. Fuck. Not a question.
Who's
What
a
place-
famous? Oh, go ahead.
Nope,
go ahead.
you.
Who's a famous person you want to have dinner with?
Dead or alive or
Your
yeah,
pick.
Yeah, anybody.
That's a really good one. If he was alive, probably. I mean, Elon Musk would be really cool to pick his brain right now. But if
Seth hates him.
I know Seth doesn't like him. I've heard.
I love him.
No, just because like I wanna talk to him, just because I would want to know like where his head's at, like what I want to get like his reaction to certain questions in person, because I feel like uh you can only get so much watching him, or that's anybody. I want to be able to ask him like what his goal is in person and see his reaction on his face, see his eyes, you know. Um, if they were dead, ooh, and maybe like Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great or somebody like from
Dude,
way back when, where
yeah.
we don't know like too much about them.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And I want to be able to like speak their language, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's definitely a barrier that we probably didn't think of.
yeah. Just because like I want to know like what they did, because
I mean, you're talking to a dead dude. I think we can bend the rules a little bit and you can understand him.
Yeah. He speaks English. He speaks modern
You're
English.
good.
We only know what's like written down, like I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know more about like that person and like what they went through.
Yeah. You like Night at the Museum when Genghis Khan comes alive.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good choices, dude. That'd be really cool to meet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Okay.
Hey, what place on Earth would you like to visit the most?
Japan,
Interesting.
Tokyo. I think.
Would you do some drifting while you're there?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, that'd be sick to go there. Dude, that's where we should go.
I want them
That's
to
where we
call
should
me
go.
a gaijin.
What's a gaijin?
What's that?
I think that's like derogatory for like not like an outsider.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was a guaylo bear.
That's what I was gonna say. Chinese guaylo.
That's Guaylo. I'm talking about
She
Japan.
doesn't.
I think it's
She doesn't want to go
gaijin.
to Japan, so we should go there, dude. I would love to go to Japan.
Who
That'd
does?
be cool.
She doesn't want to go to Japan.
Oh, KJ's there.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go.
Why is she sitting there? It's guy time.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, she's not right there. She's.
Oh, okay. Get her out, dude.
So you should go there.
Definitely Japan.
That'd be dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
I think like their culture is super cool, and I think it'd be
so cool.
really like a shell shock to see the way they live.
Yeah. Did you see it? Okay, wait. Sidetrack. Did you see that one TikToker that went over? He's like an American. He's like a Somali American. He went over there and he kept going on. He was on a train. He kept being like, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and like fucking with them. And they like one kid who was American. He was like Japanese American. He's like, yo, dude, like stop. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, he kept going around Japan, like fucking with the Japanese and like doing that shit. So the other day, he's like streaming as he's walking down the street, and all of a sudden you just see a arm come around his neck, and like he's like, "What the fuck?
Choking
Stop!"
out.
Yeah, you hear him like yelling, like "Chill and stop." And like, I guess he got his ass kicked. Which, dude, like, yeah, you can't go.
Yeah, good. That's fucked up.
It's fucked up. Yeah. He definitely should have lost a few teeth for that. But dude, they're just so polite. You know what I mean? That like it took him that long to knock his fucking teeth out.
But
this is like a TikTok thing. What even is
he's like a TikToker / streamer, and he was going around like saying Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
So he got choked out on a stream.
I think he got a Japanese biker went after him one time, and then I think and then he was streaming, and all of a sudden, well, if he was Yakuza, he'd probably be dead. But then like he's walking down the street like streaming, and then all of a sudden you just see like an arm kind of go. Like,
so it's fake. Got it. Okay. I don't think he actually got attacked. Got it.
Maybe not. I don't know. Way to kill the mood. All right, what's the next? What's the next?
What fantasy world would you want to live in?
Ooh, I know what you're gonna say.
Cyberpunk or like something like that. I love all that futuristic shit. That's why I would travel into the future if I had the ability.
Dude, the future is always like dystopian though. Like, would you really want to go to like this dystopian futuristic society?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You would? Okay.
100%. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you think we're bound for a dystopian future?
For sure.
I don't know.
I feel like we're never gonna be able to get over ourselves. And we're never gonna be able to work together. It's just not gonna happen.
If you could think of a dystopian depiction in pop culture, what do you think is closest to where we're gonna be?
Probably Blade Runner. Because Blade Runner is very like they're kind of at the end. You know, they don't really have many resources left. They're just kind of living to live at that point.
Yeah.
I don't really see a future past the Earth for them.
There was an Easter egg in Fallout New Vegas where you had the Blade Runner gun, by the way.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool. In Cyberpunk, that's kind of like what your pistol is modeled after.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do like, well, I guess Star Wars is sort of dystopian in a way with the Empire.
Star Wars is, but it's like a fake dystopian. Like
Yeah.
everything is made to look like it's run down and old, but everything works beautifully.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the spaceships run somehow.
Yeah, and Star Trek is the exact opposite. Star Trek is a utopian civilization.
I never got into that.
Yeah.
Never got into it. Okay. So, okay. Any other questions, boys?
I got one more. If you
Okay.
could only have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pizza.
Yes. Yes. Good.
I think pizza.
Yeah, it's a smart answer.
Because you could put anything on it.
Yeah, it's a good food.
It's a way around the limitation.
Dude, every time I go home, I have to have pizza.
I got it tonight.
I'm
I would have some right now.
And a bagel. Dude, I miss like Friday night. It was a no-brainer. Friday night pizza.
Yeah.
Here it's like,
Napolini.
oh, dude, Napolini is so good. But it's like if I get pizza here, it's like, all right, I need a pizza and like 3 Tums before I go to bed, so I don't have heartburn the whole fucking night.
Right before this, I ate 4 slices.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so jealous, dude.
Honestly think I miss the bagels more than the pizza from the East Coast.
The bagels are so, yeah.
I have found decent pizza out here. I have not found decent bagels out here.
Taylor ham, egg, and cheeses too is like another. Nothing
Oh
else.
yeah, ham roll, is that what it's called?
Pork rolls with the
Pork roll,
yeah.
What people call it. Mike, you call it Taylor ham though, right?
No, yeah, I could say Taylor ham.
Yeah.
That's a New Jersey thing.
Yeah, if there's a bunch of other idiots that say pork roll in Jersey.
Fucking morons.
That's the way it is. Yeah, morons.
It's not even the same thing.
Yeah. Do you have any do you have any closing thoughts?
The dude abides.
Insightful. The dude abides.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Comes full circle.
Yep. Full circle.